get a sense of conditions. Say a very good morning to Lex Pesce.
Good morning to you guys as well. Well, the wind has stayed away. We'll take that for now. The rain is starting to fall a little bit. It's only a drizzle. We are expecting that a little bit throughout the morning. We haven't spent much time here on Fox Footy for VFL at the Kennedy Community Centre. It's exactly the same size as Marvel Stadium. We'll be back inside the next 2 weeks when the AFLW season gets underway. This ground will feature heavily. We're very excited, and it's all right here on Fox Footy.
Absolutely, Lex. Thank you. Our first look at it, of course, the MCG-sized training oval out the back. There's Kelsha Deer. Sister Mayer is on Hawthorn's AFLW list as well. Benny, so we'll see plenty of the Deer family over the next few weeks, and he is a name to watch as this season unfolds.
There's lots of talk at the moment around the Hawthorn key position stocks in terms of who's there on the list, who could be on the list next season. A big game for Kelsha Deer and a big morning here on Fox Footy. It's Box Hill and Essendon from the Kennedy Community Centre. Ramsden trying to feed out the hand pass. Sardis coming through in his usual spot. Kick off the ground, not in danger. Nan sends it forward for the Hawks. It's a high kick, but it's intercepted by Johnson, who's finding his feet back at VFL level in recent weeks. Tries to put it to the advantage of Gresham. Hand pass intercepted. Putris comes through. The big man, the number 79. Against another big man there, the number 75 for Essendon in Sellers. It's seen out of bounds. Tough conditions out there for the players early stages, Todd.
Yeah, it's going to be really important just to try and get the ball going forward in these conditions. It's going to be, ball's going to get quite slippery as it spends the time on the ground. So just about getting forward momentum on the ball and making the most of that.
Ramsden works his way to the front, back into this Box Hill team today. He was tackled by Sardis and Parrish, so a couple of good signs there. And Elijah Sardis was desperate for the footy. He knew that was his free kick. He's not happy that Darcy Parrish pinched it from him. Parrish kicks up toward half forward. It's bashed out of play, and we will get a throw. And we have got a late change as well for the Bombers, Lex.
Late change, Lex? They're just
Well, yeah, sorry, guys. Yes, go again.
We'll get down to Lex again in a moment. No Jackson Haitley out there for Essendon this morning. Visentini works his way to the front. Skied up and down by Bianco into the centre of the ground. Ball bounces on its end. It's almost like a secondary ruck contest. Slapped on by Killian Burke. Harry Jones is dragged down. It's going to be tough going in these slippery conditions early. Matt Leray gets onto his left boot, and the South Australians connect. Here's Aidan Schubert at left half forward.
Yeah, good mates as well, Leray and Schubert. Schubert into the arc. It floated behind, and McLaughlin was in position A. He was the beneficiary on that occasion, Todd, of playing in front inside 50.
Exactly, and in the conditions, the ball's going to usually drop short, so good forward craft there shown by Hawthorn. And I think, you know, it's going to be a good chance to get a good mark. The Essendon defenders last week really stood up, their tall defenders, so really good confidence booster for the Hawks.
He's in Frosty Miller medal contention this year, Brodie McLaughlin. Comes into this game with 40 goals from his 14 matches. He's a natural to either sticks and convert. This time, though, it's a minor. He will be a handful, though, for the Essendon defence throughout the game.
Had an opportunity with the Hawks as a potential SSP at the start of the season. Broke his foot in the pre-season, but he's been playing good footy for Box Hill throughout the course of the year. The former Gold Coast Suns man. Long kick up the line. It's just worked its way to the back of the contest. Flynn Perez gets run down by Guelphy. Some more good tackling pressure. And the Bombers go inside the 50. This man's got the class to finish things off. Great Jade Gresham.
He's been in good form, Joel, of late, hasn't he, for the Bombers? He's come back in and been very classy. He caught a game a couple of weeks ago against the Brisbane Lions, and he looked a class above. A lot of his touches ended up in scores.
1 goal, 2 in that game. 1 last week, but it was a little bit quieter last week. So constructive against the Bombers a couple of weeks ago. He curls it around and hasn't quite got there.
You go the early crow then too.
Putris will bash it out of there. Whether he said come on celebrating the goal or come on as in ball get over the line, I reckon he'd now be arguing the opposite of maybe what he intended at the start. The Bombers go back inside the 50. Jones stretches out, can't mark, and we'll get a boundary throw in.
It's a lot of passion barracking for that ball then if that was the case.
Here's a look on replay. I reckon that was early Crowish. A live wire around the sticks, though, Jake Gresham. He's kicked 12 goals from his 6 VFL games so far, having an impact. He's tracking the ball here and then applying the pressure on McGuinness and seeing it over the paint. So these two teams coming in, Box Hill right in the top 4 contention. They're third on the ladder, sitting 10 and 5. The Bombers are coming with a bit of a rush towards the back end of the season. They're 11th, so just outside the top 10, but they've won their past 3 consecutive games in good form under Cameron Joyce in recent weeks. Ryan with the clearing kick towards the wing. Clean by Leray. Again links up to Schubert. Out of mid-air went Sardis. Parrish comes through, and Schubert did well there not to give away the free kick and hold the ball in for a stoppage, considering the height differential between the two players there. Ramsden and Vicentini going at it. Taken there by Bianco in and under. Gave it straight to Gresham. Into the arc go the Bombers and into the lap, but almost of McMahon. Hawks have the numbers at the back. Newen with the tackle. Interesting kick away there from Julian. Lands fortuitously in play here. Brody. Then clean at ground level. Newen arrives. Good shepherd there from Brody just to allow Newen to have another crack. Horner sees it over the line, but at least the Bombers now can have a look from a forward 50 stoppage.
Jade Newen's been lively in the past couple of weeks. 1 goal, 1 last time out against Coburg, and a big win for the Bombers that they just cruised away in that second half last Sunday. Horner, Sardis throws it on the boots. Goalkeeper's back there in Bodie Ryan. Couldn't take it cleanly. Gresham comes in to apply some pressure. Ryan was desperately sprawling for the boundary line to see it over. Of course, not only have Essendon been in good form, but they can shape this finals race. Of course, potentially still a wild card, but they've got Box Hill today, who are third. Their last game of the season is against Sydney, who are 4th. So they play a couple of the top teams, and not without a hope. Sardis throws it on the boot. And it is away to the right-hand side for the Bombers' first score of the morning.
A couple of disposals for Elijah Sardis, who's had 34 or more disposals in 7 of his 9 games so far this season. Bombers fans know his consistency at state league level. Vicentini couldn't quite take it. Anderson wasn't taken high according to the umpire. Bombers will look to reprieve. Nyko towards the arc. No one went at the footy. So Ryan will see it over the line and out of bounds. Right in front of that scoreboard there at the community centre. One behind a piece here. As Lexi mentioned a few minutes ago, this venue will be used as Hawthorn's AFLW home ground in the upcoming season. That will start in a matter of weeks. We have Australia and Ireland on Fox Footy in a week's time at North Sydney Oval. That'll be a grand occasion. We'll see that all on Fox Footy. And a couple of weeks after that, St Kilda and Carlton will begin the season. Off the ground go the Hawks. Sardis clean, fed it out to Unwin. Back into the side, took on a lot of tacklers there. Dowling has a lot of work to do at ground level. Newen gets boot to ball and bounces it through. Opportunistic goal from Jade Newen. It's the first of the game.
A good little reward there for Essendon. They've had a really good forward half game so far. They've controlled field position, and they needed to kick a couple of goals here just to try and make that reward for that.
That's probably the thing that we want to see a little bit more from Jaden Newen of Goldie, is that he's got the ability to get the footy and create that havoc inside forward 50, but the finishing touch just eludes him every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the role he's going to play at the AFL level. Is he's not going to be a high possession getter, but when he gets the ball, he really needs to make it count. So the more he can do that, the better. He's a very confident player as well. So he'll have a crack at it, that's for sure.
You get a bounce like that, you know things might be looking up for your morning. 1 kick on goal for Jaden Newen this morning. Goal number 11 on his season. Of course, the 6 AFL games as well throughout the course of this campaign for the Bombers. Second season on Essendon's list. There's big Jamie Henry. Just played the 2 games for Box Hill last year. His second season on the list as well. Played a lot of his footy at local level at East Ringwood to try and develop behind the likes of Reeves and Ramsden and Meek. Getting more of an opportunity this season for the Hawks. Leray sprawls forward, tries to gain some territory for Box Hill. Scooping it up on the outer side. is Noah Scott. And it's going to be a last touch lasso free kick. The Hawks can bring it back into play. Galston's on to boot. Pumps them up toward half forward. Kalpakis. In fact, it was Solomon Mackay on that occasion who found himself out of the team last week despite being in a pretty good run of form. Sofronides battles for the footy. And had some support coming in the form of Ryan, who's dragged to the ground. And we will have a ball up. Box Hill have won the past 5 between these two teams, Benny, by 69, 72, 47, 94 and 51. Hopefully a closer affair this morning.
I think the conditions will ensure that it is naturally much closer. But Essendon do come into this game, Todd, as I mentioned beforehand, with a lot of momentum, 3 straight wins, and there's a bit of belief building under Cameron Joyce.
Yeah, and especially as the Essendon AFL side get their injury list under control, this is a stronger Essendon side of the last couple of weeks they've had in 4 or 5 years almost. So they're starting to reap the rewards of that and allows them to cherry pick which VFL players they play as well.
Newen trying to bounce it through and repeats his efforts from before, but Nan gets back to rush it through for a behind. He's looking lively inside the forward 50 early. Jaden Newen, and all the way back there. And now it'll be Perez to set the Hawks up from the defensive goal square.
You don't get that kind of bounce twice.
It might have been a heat check just to see if he could do it again.
His 7th game of the VFL season, Flynn Perez. Ramsden not paid the mark. And a ball up will follow as well. Henry applying the tackle on O'Neill, the captain today. Jackson Haitley not out there today for the Bombers. Holding free kick, this time going the way of Visentini. Finding some form at VFL level. Inside 50. Now there's a play that went down, it was Guelphy, and it's going to be a free kick against Bodie Rhines for some illegal holding. And this to give the Bombers a 2-goal break. Matt Guelphy playing an important role. We often talk, Todd, on this broadcast about the experienced AFL players who sort of come into the AFL side when needed, but predominantly playing at VFL level. Seen up sort of with Tom McDonald even last night with the Demons. And him going between Casey and Melbourne. Matt Guelphy in that camp for Essendon. Must kick goal, tough conditions. Sneaks it in. Strong start for Essendon. It's an early 13-point advantage.
As you said, Ben, it's such an important aspect to these VFL programs, especially the AFL-affiliated ones, because the senior players that are coming back, it's their attitude and their commitment to that team is what really makes the difference between the better VFL sides and the ones that struggle a bit.
2-2 last week from 6 disposals. We saw him dislocate the finger last week as well. He had a bit of a rough day, Matt Guelphy, dislocated finger. Josh Jenkins gave him an almighty clip on our broadcast too.
Yes, I saw that.
And we were right too. He did dislocate it in the little push and shove after he kicked the goal. So he regrets that a little bit, I think.
I think the physio might have been checking with him.
No,
there.
I think he's...
How's the finger?
I think he might have popped out again.
Not again.
It popped out 3 times last week, I think.
Stop kicking goals, Matt.
At least you can smile about it.
Very true. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. Poor old Matt Guelphy. That is, that's not the best of luck.
Luckily, he's not a finger model.
Yes, exactly right. George Costanza style. Jackson Binns in over the top, shoveling it out. Tom Farah trying to do the same. Matt Leray goes in headlong, and Unwin's given away the free kick. So Leray, 19-year-old, rangy midfielder, kicks into the centre of the ground. Farah had it taken away, and the Bombers can pounce on the turnover, but Unwin's handball left a little bit to be desired. Sofronides. And now McGuinness at half forward. Runs onto it at the front point of the square. Looks up and assesses what's on offer inside forward 50. He kicked to the pocket for McLaughlin, and Kalpakis has been in excellent form back there for Essendon. A really handy mid-season pickup coming across from Coburg, and has combined well with Tyler Sellers in defence to form a pretty resolute intercepting duo back there. We have not seen a lot of the footy at this end of the ground. Ruck's got a long way away from the throw-in there with the angle of how it all worked out. Vicentini walks across. How did that happen,
I think it was a very short throw-in as well, which makes it look even worse, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned, Joel, not much footy at this end of the field. Just a second inside 50 here for Box Hill. You also mentioned Sellers. It looks like he's got the match up on Aidan Schubert, just out of this stoppage here. Henry and Vicentini, free kick. Is going the way of Vicentini. Second free kick out of the ruck. Going the way of the big bomber. And he'll go towards the back flank. It's a bold kick. Jones set a task. McLaughlin pounces. Hacks it around the body, over the head of Sellers. Almost into the lap of Anderson, who gets free and can't quite squeeze through the goal. It's a dangerous kick across the goal face there from Vigo Vicentini. Luckily, no harm done.
Cody Anderson with an early involvement. One of the great nicknames in footy.
Beast from the East.
The Beast from the East. No dreadlocks anymore, though, Benny, which is disappointing. Gone for a more aerodynamic kind of approach.
Does it take away from the nickname, though?
A little bit. He had big cult figure potential, but he's playing really good footy, predominantly more as a forward this year for Box Hill's VFL side, and he's been a consistent goal kicker for them. 16-16
from his 15 games coming into today. And a stoppage, had it pinched by O'Neill. Such a reliable presence for this Essendon team. Perkins ran a little arc. And then they get it moving. Up the line, kick toward Eckersley. That's Jared Eckersley. Both Eckersleys into the game today, Jared and Zach. A couple of the ins for the Bombers. Both Eckersleys, Perkins, Solly Mackay and Brodie into the team for Essendon. Ramsden and Perez, the two listed players coming in for Box Hill, as well as Josh Galstians for his VFL debut, the boy out of Park Orchards. And it'll be tossed back in. 16 played in this opening term. Essendon with the opening 2 goals through Newen and through Guelphy. Of course, these two teams doing battle later this afternoon at the MCG as part of Super Saturday here on Fox Footy. Dowling and Henry. Gresham might have got a little shove. Umpire said that was all okay. Perkins trying to keep it in, sprawling out toward the boundary line, kicked it off an opposition boot, and it stayed in play for the Hawks this time. Little handball forward was clever. Ends up with Galstians. Anderson pokes it to the pocket. Set a task for McLaughlin. Blind handball over his head, kept it alive, but not to his own team's advantage. Jones to Kalparkis to Schubert. All of a sudden, McLaughlin almost a chance to get back involved in the play. Slipping and sliding was Beattie. Central kicks a good one. Leray had it knocked away from him. Nyko comes in over the top. Did they get it in his back? They did. And it'll be a Bombers free kick on the very last line.
It's a nice moment just before there from Max Beattie. Showed some incredible composure in the wet conditions as well, their mid-season pickup. Here's a look on replay of the free kick. Anderson just with that second movement there, giving away the free. Mark dropped there by Burke. Brought down by Baldwin. Sellers comes through and keeps the ball moving forward for the Bombers. Then the decisive fist away there from Putris, who's in his 9th game for Box Hill. There's Daniel Jean Syracusa, part of the Hawthorn coaching panel. Has been in the mix for some of the vacant AFL coaching positions in recent times as well.
Very impressive individual, Gia. Very, very good coach.
Of course, was at Essendon for a long time, part of their coaching panel before moving to Hawthorn just under 12 months ago now. Gresham with an inside 50. Coming out was Blank, who left his man and attacked the footy. At ground level was Jared Eckersley, brought down and was caught holding the ball. He had one arm free. It was a well-executed tackle in the end. He's a little worse for wear, Jared Eckersley, but it means that Bianco can set up the Hawks.
Bianco to Flynn Perez, former Kangaroo, won the SSP spot at the Hawks at the start of the season. After some good footy at SANFL level, Ryan trying to exit. Parrish closed in to see it out of play. Will be tossed back in. Parrish and Jackson Binns. It's the kind of stuff that they want to see from Darcy Parrish. He's had a stack of the footy early, just the one touch. Elijah Sardis has had it 10 times in the first 19 minutes. No one else on the ground has had it more than 5. So Sardis is getting busy, as always. These kind of conditions suit his game. O'Neill, Binns, Gresham, nice crumb, got dragged down. Unwin taken high, free kick. Griff Julian came in a little bit too strong. And Reece Unwin will have a set shot from just inside the arc.
Does it feel like the Bombers are playing the conditions a little bit better early stages, Todd?
It does. I think there's been a few opportunities that Box Hill have had to get the ball going forward, especially when they get outside their defensive 50. This game, the way it's being played, is all about field position so far. So Box Hill have been in only three times for the quarter for 2 shots on goal, whereas Essendon now having their 5th shot from their 9th inside 50. So I think you've got to play the conditions and get the ball inside 50 and just build the pressure up.
Came back into the team last week. Reece Unwin, 7 games so far this season, 4 goals, 4. There is a terrific look at what's ahead of him. Not quite. It just hooked away to the right-hand side. And it makes the gap 11 points in time on in this opening term.
Building back his game minutes and fitness after missing some time out with some hamstring concerns. Reece Unwin. Schubert hacks it forward. It's pretty open forward half here. Hill got the accommodating bounce, and he is just able to slip the tackle of Burke. And then had a handball inside. They link up via hand. McGuinness with a good look. Flares it across the goal face. Still alive here for the Hawks. Guelphy all the way back in defence. Now, that is unfortunate for Horner. The ball was socked straight into his shin, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. Kick come there from Binns and straight into Horner, and now the Bombers can reload through Johnson. Hugging the line. Mackay, Brodie linking up via hand. Now an opportunity for Zach Eckersley. Short kick to Gresham, kick smothered. Ramsden wins it back. Can they get their handball game going here? An optimistic bounce there through the middle. It was a poor kick. It might be a downfield free kick. It was dealt with afterwards. Hill will now have the set shot from directly in front. That's a bitter blow for the Bombers because they've had all the momentum so far, and it gives the Hawks a good look in front. And for a player that's been in good goal-kicking form this season, Matt Hill, 14 goals from 13 games previously. Had his AFL debut a couple of weeks ago off the back of a 3-goal VFL game against the Giants. Can have a look at the goals from directly in front. Interesting approach, but effective and straight. Box Hill have their first.
Certainly wasn't going to kick it into the man on the mark, Goldie.
No, and I guess in these conditions you want to take all risk out of it. We saw a few of them last week in the Essendon game, kicking in the man on the mark. So let's take that completely out of play.
I think it was Max Beattie just beforehand who got the Hawks moving forward and was dealt with afterwards, which led to the set shot for Matt Hill. It'd be a blow for Cameron Joyce, who would have been pleased with what his team has played so far, but an important goal for Dave Miraside.
5 tackles, 5 disposals last week for Matt Hill. That's the kind of player that he is. Let's get a little bit more info on that late change for Essendon. Lex, no Jackson Hately this morning.
No Jackson Hately out here this morning. Noah Scott comes in. It's an injury. Just trying to figure out what injury that actually is.
Thank you. The former Giant Crow was VFL captain, not out there. So Noah Scott, who's been regular for the Essendon VFL team throughout the course of the season. Out there in the number 57 this morning. Parrish curls the kick inside the arc. Was gathered down low by Jared Eckersley. The Hawks can work it out of defence. Caught on the back foot there. Sam Butler got it from Perez. Kick down the line looking for Schubert. They do gather it up through Anderson. Handball over the top to Nairn. Anderson continued to run out wide. Handball was pinched from him by Killian Burke. Cody Anderson tried to kick that in the contest. Burke couldn't get booed to ball. Cody Anderson almost karate kicked it out of his hands, and he wins the free kick at half forward. Well, someone tried to get a legal disposal away. Problem for Killian Burke was it wasn't him. Here's Bianco. Low kick to the pocket, working his way to the front nicely was Schubert. And Aidan Schubert can go back and try and make it a one-point game.
It's a difficult matchup, Schubert, Goldie, because we saw him on the wing beforehand. He's got incredible aerobic capacity. He's got the height on Tyler Sellers. Might be a bit of a tricky matchup for him today.
Going to come around the body here and did not get all of it at all. He's completely duffed that, Aidan Schubert. Jones can smash it out of there. Oh, Sellers going back with the flight. That's just the method in which he operates.
He doesn't know any other way.
Big Tyler Sellers. Jade Gresham, Sardis, handball back over his head. Made it difficult for Newen. And a good tackle from Perez to lock things up.
So you've spent time with Tyler Sellers at both North Melbourne and Essendon. Is that just the way he plays and trains?
Yeah, I remember playing with him in the VFL at North Melbourne, and there's a few times kick-outs he actually jumped through me. So, so he doesn't mind who's in his way. He's going to go through them.
Sardis has applied the tackle. There is Tyler Sellers on display. He's having one heck of a season. He'd be right up there in contention for VFL Team of the Year. He's averaging the 17 touches, 9 marks as well. Last week at the 18 touches and 13 marks. He's an intercept machine down there. The lights are on here at the Kennedy Community Centre. Does look like the rain has eased outside, so hopefully we get to see the ball movement flow a little bit better. Bianco goes off the turf, up towards half forward. That's a tough ball to pick up. What about the pickup, though, from Schubert? Got it to Hill, over the top. Deer assesses, gathers, and kicks to the square. And he's such a smart player, Brodie McLaughlin. He marks and will kick from point-blank range. Just a bit of cleanliness there from the Hawks in the slippery conditions. And it leads for a set shot opportunity for one of the top goal kickers in the league for the past couple of years. Brodie McLaughlin makes it a one-point ball game.
That was an incredibly good mark in these conditions in the goal square there by Brodie McLaughlin. It's not easy to control that footy, going back with the flight like he was. You can see why he's been such a dominant goal kicker in this league for a couple of years now.
For a couple of clubs as well, of course, up at the Gold Coast, then at Williamstown and
Frankston before that too.
Yep. Ox Hill. So he's been a long time goal kicker in the competition. Game 96 for him today. There he is on the Frosty Miller with goal number 41 of the season. So Corey Allison kicked 5 last week to pinch the lead off him. Mitch Padaski continues to do good things for Collingwood, of course, after starting the season with Coburg. Brodie McLaughlin looking to try and win his 3rd Frosty Miller medal. Join Matt Lyle, the former Hawk, as the other. Jordan Lyle, the former Hawk, is the other who's done that in recent times. Corner in defence for the Hawks. Just scrambled out of there. A little bit of holding going on off the footy. He's going to be a free kick to Galstjens on debut. 170 centimetres, so not a great deal of Josh Galstjens, but he's got the pink boots on, so he's just making sure people know who he is on his VFL debut, which we like. Up toward Jones and Deer. And it's slapped out of play. And it will be tossed back in. Essendon with the first 2 goals of this contest. Box Hill with the 2 most recent. It is a one-point game. Big Super Saturday of Fox, of course, includes these 2 teams doing battle at the MCG a little bit later on.
So Harry Jones playing behind the ball there. Todd, it looks like he's got the matchup on Cal Shadir, certainly at this stoppage.
He's a good matchup for him, but very similar body types, very similar running abilities.
That was optimistic from Butler, giving away the free kick for unrealistic attempts. Perkins' hand pass set his team at a task, and then Burke is brought down by Hill. This time the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Here's that attempt from Butler. And a clear free kick for Cam Nyko.
Doesn't help when you don't get your hands up. It's hard to say you're making a realistic attempt.
McGuinness from congestion. Farah crunched in a tackle there by Parrish. Great point from the great Paul Amy on social media during the week. Brady Wright's probably the favourite for the Fothergill Round medal, but Tom Farah from the Hawks has got a good case as well. He's been super consistent. There he is, the number 76 for the Hawks. Gives the Ball back to Ramsden, who's got the free kick, and he pokes a pass into the pocket, and it missed McLaughlin, who was on the searching lead. Ball goes over the line and will be tossed back in. Such a dangerous player inside 50, Brodie McLaughlin, a great test for Deacon Kalparkis, a great interceptor for the Bombers in recent weeks. Got to try and curtail the influence of McLaughlin. Ramsden brought down Sardis with his 12th disposal. A pick-up. That was Perkins on the end of it to Mackay. Handball inboard, and Johnson is full of running. Towards half forward. Going back was Dowling, and he gives away the free kick. And O'Neill shrewdly doesn't kick it away. And it's a free kick to the captain of the Hawks in Horner.
Who played with his coach, Dave Mirror. Of course, a two-time premiership player. Dave Mirror, Norm Goss medalist as well. Back at the Hawks this year as the coach of Box Hill. Harry Jones slides into mark on the wing. Rolls onto that penetrating right boot toward half forward. Ryan put his fist through it. It worked nicely in the end as well. Butler comes off half back, kicks up the line over the head of Deere. McLaughlin's there as well. He was tackled by a couple. He got his arms up quite clearly, Goldie, to show that he was no chance of getting rid of that.
I'm not sure that gets him out of the liability, though, of potentially being holding the ball.
Still got to try. You can't just throw the arms up and go, nothing I can do about this. Free kick again in the ruck contest. We've seen a few of those early this morning. Ramsden, long left foot kick. What can he create? Not a great deal, and there we see that intercepting strength of Kalparkis in defence for the Bombers.
He just read that better off the boot than what McLaughlin did. McLaughlin went right, Kalparkis tracked it back and was able to cleanly intercept, and it's set up the Bombers here, although that kick has been chopped off. Horner playing high here, wins it back. Ryan thumps it inside the arc. Big pack forms. Who's up high? Sellers was there, brought it to ground level. Schubert doing the crumbing. McLaughlin tracking it. Almost took another great mark. Binns on the last line. Gets it to Mackay. He thumps it away. Bombers breathe a sigh of relief. They had the early ascendancy in that quarter. The Hawks hit back, and it is a 1-point lead for the Bombers at the first change. 2-3 plays 2-2. Second quarter coming up in just a few moments.
The going was tough early at the Kennedy Community Centre. A little bit of light drizzle made for willing conditions on this Saturday morning. Jaden Newen found the right bounce to start his morning off. And they were into it early on in this contest. Both of these teams in the finals race, Box Hill and Essendon. Matt Hill kicked Box Hill's first goal, and the weather hasn't kept the youngest supporters away from Dingley this morning either, which is great to see. Your Super Saturday on Fox with VFL action here. Box Hill trailing by a point at quarter time. Joel Peterson, Ben Waterworth, Todd Goldstein and Alexia Pesce with you. We spoke about Jaden Newen in that opening term, Goldie, and the fact that he got a very kind bounce, but he's been doing all the tough stuff as well.
Yeah, and that's what you love about what Jaden brings to the Essendon side, is he doesn't shirk a contest. He had a couple of tackles, 3 contested possessions. I think it was 3 contested possessions. He's just everywhere, and he could get him some reward with that goal.
He was so good in that opening term, Ben, that a young Box Hill supporter walked over to him at quarter time and took a selfie with him.
The beauty of the VFL, hey, that we can get access to players like that at quarter time, but a really important moment there for Jaden Newen to build that confidence as well, because he's been out of the AFL team for a couple of weeks now, Goldie, but that's exactly what you want to see out of a player who's switched his role. Was a defender last year, but he's showing some signs as a small pressure forward. Yeah, and you do need it. Like, obviously the tackles and the pressure's great, but you do need to hit the scoreboard as well. So he's just starting to get his hands on the ball a bit more and starting to kick a few more goals over the last couple of weeks.
Which Matt Hill was able to do at the other end as well. Plays a very similar role for Box Hill, and he kicked their first goal of the morning as well. They dominated the territory early and ended up being pretty even as far as inside 50s are gone, and Elijah Sardis just continues to rack them up, Benny. It feels like it is good conditions for Elijah as well. He loves it on the inside. Wet conditions early. I think he had 10 disposals halfway through the first quarter as well, but he's had the 5 clearances to go with it as well. He's making a big early impression for the Bombers. Yeah, it's exactly the type of game you want. As the game started to fine up in that back end of the quarter, Box Hill, started to get their hands on a bit more and started control. So his impact dropped off a little bit, and I think they'll be looking to keep that for Box Hill side of things. So Essendon by a point at quarter time. Let's get the Box Hill side of things. David Mirror is with Alexia Pesce.
Thanks for joining us. Tough start. Conditions aren't exactly fantastic, but Bombers plenty of pressure. What have you made of it? Yeah, well, they kicked the first 2 goals of the game, and credit to our boys to get back into the contest. I thought our pressure, our contested footy, were able to lock the ball in our front end, particularly late in that first quarter. Really pleasing that we got ourselves back into the contest, but we need to keep going. It's early, I know, but Elijah Sardis, 12 touches for the first quarter. What do you do about that? Yeah, he was running hot. We'll just monitor it for the time being. We back our mids in to get the job done, so we'll see how that goes. Good luck in the second term. Cheers.
Man who's played a lot of good VFL football, Dave Mirror, across the journey. Legend of the competition, legend of the Box Hill Footy Club as well. One of the great stories, feel-good stories, when he got picked up by Hawthorn for a couple of years as well and had a little bit of an impact. He bleeds brown and gold. And great to see him leading the Hawks this season. Back in charge of this team, which is sort of feels right, doesn't it? It feels like the place that he should be in life, but is Dave Mirror leading Box Hill. He spoke so well about that during the week on the State of Play podcast as well, that he's just wanting to make the footy club better. Cody Anderson getting involved in a little bit of a physical stoush with Solly Mackay to start this second term. Gresham doing a bit of work at clearance, sending the Bombers forward. Guelphy, nice pick up. Newen shows his dash. Kicks to full forward. Opportunity there for Zach Eckersley, and can't be squeezed through by McMahon, who kicked 6 against the Lions and then was very, very quiet last week. 1 goal, 2 disposals as Nick Cox ran riot inside forward 50 against Coburg. Yeah, not often that Liam McMahon plays second fiddle in the VFL game. That's what happened, and Cox subsequently earning the AFL recall this week. Beattie with a clean one-handed pickup. Feeds it wide to LeRae, this time on the right boot. Up towards half forward. Punched away there by Cal Parkes. Heavily met by Beattie, and Beattie is giving away the free kick. Bombers will take the advantage. Binns towards half forward with the kick. Well weighted pass to Gresham, who played on immediately. Horner was right in his tail, up high. That's a nice fly from behind by Perez. Read that well off the boot. Inboard to Butler, who looks like he's playing a bit more behind the ball today rather than as a midfielder. Bianco. Nam. First round draftee
from last year. Bit of a bolter throughout his draft year in 2025. He's one of the more versatile prospects to come from that draft class. That's a strong mark from Deer, all the way up in the wing. Good confidence booster for him. Checks the kick laterally, taken by Beattie, who moves off his mark. Caught a play on now. Into the pocket, just over the head of Ramsden at the back. Kalparkis gives it to Binns, who's very happy to rush it through for a behind.
Bombers will come outside. Here's Sartis for disposal number 13 in this game thus far. Sellers has been busy as well. AEST, he's had a mortgage on it in the opening part of the game. There's Elijah Sartis. Jackson Binns. The Bombers just get slowed up, but we saw this a little bit last week. We've seen it across the last few weeks, Goldie. They haven't necessarily got hemmed in from this situation. The ball control has been a method with which they've been reasonably effective.
They've been working really hard to find those pockets of space to be able to just progress the ball forward and just honouring those leads and value in progression.
Parrish wobbles his kick down the line. And Nan got dragged off it by Guelphy. One of a handful of South Australians in this Hawthorn team. Nan, Ryan, Schubert and Matt Leray. Max Beattie taken out of South Australia, but from Albury Wodonga. Out of the Wodonga Raiders up there in the Ovens and Murray League. So it's been a happy hunting ground for them. Of course, Will Day from that part of the world as well. So they've done well out of SA in recent seasons of the Hawks at draft level. Free kick coming back here to Bodie Ryan at half-back. Not paid the downfield, or is it going to come into the middle? There's two little conferences with players and umpires you can see on your screen, one to the far left and then Ryan at half-back. And it is going to come back to Bodie Ryan, who can set up a Hawks attack.
And then it's been dropped. Beattie went straight through the hands. Gresham pounces. Parrish inside 50. Over the head of McMahon. Newen, terrific attack on the ball. Then the feint. Then he wants the bounce. He didn't quite get there. Exciting passage from Jade Newen, who's playing with ample intensity and purpose this morning.
Yeah, I think he might have got a little bit excited himself then. I wouldn't mind seeing him try and square that to the middle and just try and build some pressure. This just gives the ball back to Box Hill. And that's what they did well in the start of the first quarter, was just get forward stoppages and build pressure.
Almost broke the ankles there of poor old James Blank. The Hawks look to build again. Nan up high, but right there was Brodie. Newen this time feeds it to Guelphy. He does the team thing. There's a whistle on play. He was dealt with after he disposed of it, Matt Guelphy. And it's going to be a free kick directly in front of goal.
Geez, we've seen that a lot over the last few weeks.
Gresham plays on and curls it through. A big blow there for Box Hill, and Gresham pounces.
Very quick to put up his hand, though, for that, to mean that he was in position too there, Jade.
It's just good forward craft.
Here's a look.
You can't teach that sort of experience. him and Jared Eckersley were both there, and I think the more senior player just took the responsibility.
So you think that was a goal through hierarchy more than anything else?
Well, I think that might have played a little part in it.
First goal for Jade Gresham, 12 disposals as well, so been heavily involved again. As Benny said earlier, he's been putting together a good block at VFL level. One of those crafty small forwards that they've got in operation in there at the moment for Essendon. Go through the middle as well, a couple of clearances already. Byzantini and Ramsden jump into one another. Umpire draws a stop to play. Yeah, free kick to Big Vigo.
I mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of ruck contest free kicks.
I think that's the fifth one so far for the game.
They all just stopped and looked around and thought, let's just see what gets drawn out here. Byzantini kicks inside the forward 50. McMahon, nice gather. Gresham on the back pedal. Handball to Sartis. Can he find a target inside the arc? Bashing it on was Ryan. Sofronides, handball back into traffic. And the tackle's laid. It's drawn to a stop inside forward 50 by Jared Eckersley. Bombers up by 8 points. McMahon doing the ruck work. Flashing through was Eckersley. Parrish onto his left. Top of the goal square. That won't work out. Nan was back there with Butler. Gets pushed toward the boundary line. And it'll be tossed back in that right forward pocket.
Butler with a team high 9 disposals for the Hawks. Great to have your company. VFL action to kick off your Super Saturday here. McMahon doing the ruck work, straight down to Putris, who torps it into the middle of the Kennedy Community Centre, but straight down the throat of Jones. Assured behind the ball so far, Harry Jones. Kalparkis. Mackay. Doesn't go laterally, instead heads to a big pack. In the end, McMahon was the only player to get hands to the ball. Gresham tracking it, clever toe poke forward. Grimes clean. McGuinness hacks it away. Bounce important. Awkward one from Mackay. Henry comes through and is escorted over the paint for a boundary throw-in. Essendon with most of the forward half territory so far in this quarter. In fact, it was caught a ball up. Must have just gone dead before it went over the line. So allows Parrish to come through, kick it forward. No clean mark taken. Baldwin gets it back. Nan bumped off as he kicked, but it's gone into the middle and turned over. Johnson can reload for Essendon.
He was so constructive last week, Zach Johnson, moving the footy inside the forward 50. Out toward Jared Eckersley, who couldn't keep it in. That one's definitely out of play. They did well to actually make sure that there wasn't a stoppage.
Yeah.
The ball up close to the boundary line generally ends up in the boundary throw-in. Sofronides puts a little step on Eckersley after he was called to play on, having moved off his line. Slips through the hands of Sellers. Kalparkis. Binns. Did he get a little toe to that on the way out? Brody McLaughlin certainly trying to sell the umpire into that. He wasn't falling for it. It'll be thrown back in on that outer side. A little bit of drizzle continues to fall. I don't know that that bloke's dog's too happy about it, just quietly. He's got the umbrella there. The dog's probably thinking any danger you could use that, either for me or you. Horner slips the handball out. Butler. Now to McGuinness. Sellers cuts across, knocks it down. Johnson does the roving, got his handball away. Sardis wrapped up by Butler. And it's all locked up again. Essendon, the only goal in this second term. Quite a few VFL games today. I think 7 other games today. Jamari Ugle-Hagen's kicked 2, and there's that dog that I'm just not thinking looks particularly pleased about the way things are going this morning.
Hey, at least it's out and about on a Saturday morning.
True.
Where else would you rather be than at the Kennedy Community Centre? Here's Horner, who intercepts, wants to go lateral and does. Nan waiting for it, had to wait a long time. Well played, Zach Eckersley. Almost the turnover now. Putris has kicked it off the ground. Will it stand just in play? It will. Just held up enough for Beattie to get hands to it and escort it over the boundary line. Here is Max Beattie. Only been on Hawthorn's list now for a couple of months. But made a good impression at VFL level. Had the 22 touches against Carlton a couple of weeks ago. McGuinness, as clean as you like from the stoppage. Towards half forward, that's what Tyler Sellers does best. Intercepts and sets the Bombers off to Binns. You look inboard. Jones wants a runner, gets it from Johnson, who's had a busy game so far. Disposal number 11, another downfield free kick. Both teams have been guilty of committing those today. Vicentini to Newen. Call to play on now. Perkins wanted it on the outside and might eventually get it. Drifted forward, Archie Perkins, and takes the mark. But as you can see, a very congested forward 50. But he caught the Hawks napping. Gained some territory towards the goal square. Gresham trying to do something special and did do something special. Something out of nothing from Jade Gresham.
It's an incredibly smart goal there. I think he was originally thinking, I'll just keep it in and create a forward stoppage, but saw the opportunity just to whack it on the boot. I think it was probably a good call with the ball hanging out there. He was probably going to be holding the ball if he didn't dispose of it.
That's great instinct, isn't it? Just the nose for goal, to know what to do in that situation. And Gresham's got the only 2 goals of the second quarter. And the Bombers back out by 14 points. So it felt like Newen might have worked his way into trouble and an unsolvable situation. Archie Perkins there at the ready to help him out of it. So as it was in the first quarter, Goldie, the Bombers have jumped out of the blocks here in the second again.
Yeah, and the way the game's being played suits this Bombers side down to a T. They're getting forward half pressure. They're being able to get into their end and create stoppages and let their really solid defence set up and control the game from there. So Box Hill are going to have to start getting this ball forward and putting their defenders under pressure.
Get it forward they do this time. Tom Farah scrubs the kick inside the 50. Nyko's dragged down, or just on the edge of the arc, I should say. Nyko, solid performance last week. 16 disposals, 2 behinds, but 7 score involvements in that Bombers win over Coburg. Bouncing off a teammate there was Baldwin. Kick hit the outside of the boot. Spills out toward the boundary line. O'Neill keeps it alive. He tumbles his kick down the outer wing. Sofronides judged it nicely. Played under Dave Mirror at Collegians in the Ammos, and Mirror saw a need, as did this man, Will Putris. So former teammates combining. Putris got dragged down but got the handball away in the process. Perez. And combining was Julian and Bianco to shovel it out wide to Leray. He wants to come back and restart something from half-back. Hawks looking for the switch. Ryan picks off the corridor kick to Perez. And the Sandhurst product called to move it on. Does that now with an aggressive kick through the middle of the ground. Bianco, delivery inside 50. Just a little bit too low for Deere, who slid out, couldn't take it with him. Sellers can mop up, but kicks it straight back to McGuinness.
Starting to get busy, McGuinness. Disposal number 8 coming up for the veteran Hawk. Umpire letting him have a lot of time here. Call to play on. Kicks to a contest inside the arc. McLaughlin was up high. Down low was Beattie. McLaughlin able to get boot to ball and kick it forward, but the Bombers have ample numbers back. Zach Eckersley, dangerous kick. Julian up high. Gresham down low, arrives to save the day. Hasn't cleared danger just yet. Free kick again after the player disposed of the ball. Perkins can mop it up. Brody handballs over the top to Scott. Good composure shown. Swings it across his body with a superb kick. Dropped by Jared Eckersley. Nyko goes off the ground, then gets a second chance. Waited a long time, just got rid of it. Perkins building into this game. Now to Scott, inside 50. Not pretty off the boot. McGuinness has got back to relieve. Sofronides switches. Ramsden was in a paddock. The ball went past him. Jones bumped off it, and Beattie gets it and is away.
Shows some burst, does Max Beattie. Handball to Ramsden, who made a mess of it coming back in field. Sada soccers it forward, straight back to McGuinness, who knew exactly how much time he had inside defensive 50 a moment ago and spent every bit of it. Galstians inside the arc, it's all Bombers, and Jade Gresham showcasing his work rate to run support in defence and intercept. Zach Eckersley chases after the bouncing footy. Horner picks it off for the Hawks. Chance to sum things up. Kick toward Deere. Sellers in front. Brought it to ground. Gresham lays the tackle. Not rewarded. But skipping away with it and doing nicely was Brody. Now they can build something, the Bombers. Jared Eckersley. He's on the end of it inside forward 50. Only needed the bounce to favour him. Flicked it over the top to McMahon, who takes it to the house. And Essendon's got its biggest lead of the game at 20 points.
Just starting to get a little bit of flow and rhythm in their game, the Bombers at the moment. Gold. I love this hand pass from Eckersley as well. Absolutely nailed it. Put it on a platter for McMahon. But just starting to build some ball movement flow.
They're just controlling the gameplay this quarter in particular. You know, when they want to go fast, they're going fast. When they want to just slowly build the ball up and make the Box Hill side defend them, they're just building the ball up. So they're valuing that progression, and I think that's really helping them. Their defenders set up, and making it hard for Box Hill to get through on the other end.
Continues this terrific run at VFL level, Liam McMahon, in 34 games now since 2024. He's kicked 1 goal in all but one of them. It's 95 goals as well since 2024. Firstly with the Blues and now with the Bombers. 3 goals to the Bombers this quarter. A handy 20-point advantage as we get right in the middle of this quarter. Although Deer from way downtown lets it fly. Doesn't register a score. Has been playing a little bit more up the field today. Cal Shadir to get himself involved in the game. Sellers from the back pocket for the Bombers. Up high went Visentini. Sardis clean, but gave it away to Farah. Then he gave it to Visentini, and he waits for Sardis on the outside. Bombers building through run again. Kick into the arc. Sofronides one-on-one with Gresham. Gresham kept his footing. Newen immediately had the ball held to him by Stu Horner.
Very good decision there by Jaden to not give the handball and not just cough up the ball. We just get that forward 50 stoppage, which suits the Essendon side.
Visentini clearly down. Ryan able to clear it away. Bounce important here in the middle of the ground. Comes to Beattie. Immediately stripped of it. Perkins getting busy. Binns over the top. Working with Scott. Kick pretty well weighted. Bouncing away from the captain, O'Neill. Along the turf he went. Ryan again intercepts. Stripped of it though by Dowling. Caught holding the ball. O'Neill takes the advantage. Wants to centre it. Does centre it. And finds a teammate. Well played, Xavier O'Neill. And a big moment here for Elijah Sardis.
Always team first, Xavier O'Neill, Goldie.
That's the captain leading the way. That's what he's got to do. Important kick here for Elijah. He's had the 18, this will be his 19th disposal, but he's only going at 18% from his kicking efficiency and 39% overall for his disposal. So this would be one he'd want to put away.
Elijah Sardis, the ball magnet. Can't find the major opening there. You could see it swing. He has a chat with Trent Bianco about it, who I think is just as flummoxed by the path that ball took. Nonetheless, a 21-point lead here for Essendon.
Ryan gives it an almighty thump straight to Kalpakis. Again, read it nicely in flight. Handball back to Sardis. Standing start to the edge of the 50, and Horner floats in to mark. He'll trot back off his line. Essendon by 21. Biggest advantage they've had in the game. Box Hill haven't kicked a goal here in this second term. Essendon with 3. Out of your Super Saturday on Fox Footy. Carlton, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, Essendon, GWS, Sydney, Western Bulldogs, Richmond. The 4 games on the slate throughout the afternoon. On the screens of Fox. Anderson swings it wide now to Horner. Needed to attack the footy in the end. Coming at him was Scott. Horner plays the advantage. Handball in field. McGuinness run down. Got the handball away right in the nick of time. Only to Sellers for Essendon. His kick outside the 50. Knocked down by Scott. Spills back into Hawke's hands. Anderson was strong through the tackle. Off to McGuinness. 40 metres out. Tries to curl it home. It's away to the right all the way. Only through for a minor score. Just the second score for Box Hill for the quarter.
Every time they've got close to that 50 to 70 metres out, every disposal seems to be under pressure at the moment. It's really been really high work rate by the Essendon 18ers defending together.
Bombers looking for their 4th straight win. Trying to sneak into the wild card mix this season. Williamstown, Coburg, Tassie all sort of around that mark as well. It's going to be a thrilling run home in the VFL. Johnson linking up with teammates. Goes short here to Visentini. Running on the outside there was Zach Eckersley. Fumbled. Sloppy hand pass there, but Johnson up to it. Perkins brought down. Had a long time with it. Great tackle from Blank. McGuinness pounces. Farah waiting on the inside. Feeds it over the top. Clean pick up there from Nan. Waits for a runner from behind. Got it to Farah. Schubert in the middle. Might eye the sticks here. From outside 50 to the top of the goal square. It floats towards the pocket. Still in play. Nervous moments here for Mackay, but he's up to the task. And he finds a teammate O'Neill can relieve.
Those who may not have seen Aiden shoot before, it's an unusual kicking style, isn't it? But he can give it an absolute thump.
He can.
He's a prodigious kick of the footy. He's young Aiden Schubert. O'Neill off half-back, kicks to a pack on the wing. Visentini did the roving, popped the handball over the top to Dowling, who was grabbed immediately. You mentioned the opportunity for Essendon to win 4 in a row. The names might not jump out in terms of St Kilda, Brisbane and Coburg, but St Kilda had been unbeaten in 6 before Essendon knocked them off. Brisbane had won 2 in a row despite their lowly ladder position, and Coburg had won 7 of 9. So the wins have come against teams in really good form over the last few weeks for the Bombers. If they can pinch this one today, and it'd be a fourth team that's going really well to give them some real momentum.
They went from probably looking very unlikely, or no chance of making that wildcard spot, to suddenly, if they can win 2 of their last 3, that almost gets them in.
Yep, started 2 of 4. They lost to Casey into North Melbourne in consecutive weeks before they started this 3-game winning run that they're on at the moment. Running out of room was Galston's. Reece Unwin picked him off. And Unwin takes the free kick. Had the overlap run. Parrish now inside the 50. Poor delivery. And it was easy pickings for Sam Sofronides in the brown and gold long sleeve in defence this morning.
Crucial member of this defensive setup. His kick, though, has been chopped off by Kalparkis. Zach Eckersley inside 50. Sofronides is there again. So he intercepts and will go again, although there's a whistle on play, and it's a free kick by the non-controlling umpire at the time, and it's in, from a goal-kicking perspective and Box Hill's perspective, the hands you don't want it in Liam McMahon, the sharpshooter.
Unlucky for Jared Eckersley. He thought he had another chance for a goal there, and another player's taken it off him.
Here's a look on replay at the bottom of your screen. You can just see the jumper pull there. I think it was from James Blank. And it means that McMahon can have a look at a second goal. And once he gets going and gets a couple on the board, he's eyes big bags. Liam McMahon has a couple, and the Bombers now have 4 unanswered goals in this second quarter. So McMahon has 2 this quarter, and Gresham has 2. And they have been able to get this forward territory dominance. The Hawks have struggled to get it past the halfway line a lot of the quarter, Goldie.
Yeah, because they're taking their time generally with how they build the ball up, and they're getting stoppages sort of between 70 and the goal square. It allows their defenders to really set up their defensive structure really well, and Sellers and Jones and Kalpakis are really having a big impact sitting back there.
Some of their big guns getting going here, the Bombers. Liam McMahon, 27 on the season now, 27-13 as well, so accurate as well as effective inside the 50. Gresham handballed wildly over his head, gave it away. Kick to full forward, crashing out came McLaughlin, couldn't take it with him. Hill could, handball to Ramsden from the pocket. Just a little bit too casual in the approach. And he pushed it across the face in the end. Did Big Max, another of these Hawks who's struggling to bolt down a spot in the senior team. And that was one that closing it on half-time, Benny, when they're down by 26 points, they absolutely needed to have.
Last time these two sides met, Ramsden had a big game, 4 goals from the 16 touches and 10 marks. Not quite weather that suits his playing style, though. What a day for big guys. But speaking of big guys, not much bigger than Boston Dowling out there. His first year with Essendon's VFL side. A couple of weeks ago, kicked the 2 goals against the Brisbane Lions. Holding free kick again out of the ruck contest. This time going the way of Visentini, coming up for his 10th disposal. Thumps it forward. One-on-one here, Sofronides and Dowling. Free kick. Height advantage there to Dowling. And he was held without the footy. Lots of brown and gold jumpers back, though. Jared Eckersley wants it deep. It heads in that direction. From the side, no mark to Nairn. Horner at ground level, able to feed it out to Butler, who kicks it away. Sellers with a decisive fist, but he's put it back in towards the Hawthorn forward half here. Burke and Hill. Has Burke made a genuine attempt? He has not. Holding the ball, Hill wins it back.
Problem when you choose to go to ground like that, it's always going to be in trouble.
Matt Hill poke it out wide. Of course, coming off the through the Melbourne Storm junior programs, Northern Territory product. Beatty. It's not a great kick in the end, and your Henry was no chance. There's Vizentini, who's been good in the early stages, Goldie, around the ground.
Yeah, he's put in a really good last 3 weeks, I think, and now he's getting a bit of continuity to his footy this year, which he hasn't had. I think he's really building up for a good finish to the season.
Fair to say that there's a bit of upside viewed in Big Vigo at the hangar?
Yeah, definitely. I think everything he's shown, the way he attacks his work, the way he wants to learn and get better has been really impressive. And now it's just about how badly does he want it and what's he going to put in to get to where he wants to get to.
Up against Henry here again. The Hawk had the better of it on that occasion. Gresham and Parrish do the tackling for the Bombers. They've got the only 4 goals of this second term. Box Hill just a little bit flat-footed coming out of quarter time, and it will be a 25-point margin at the main change for Essendon. 8 and 7 on the season, winners of their past 3, and they are looking to take a top 4 scalp and improve their chance of making the wild card. They've done a fine job of it to half-time, 6-6 to 2-5, and that was a pretty dominant second quarter.
Absolutely, and it's come off the back of Hawthorn, Box Hill are winning the clearances, but the pressure that the Essendon Footy Club's been able to put on them, they've just dumped kicking it out and kicking to their well-set defence, and then they're dominating field position from there.
Sardis with 20 disposals, Zach Johnson with 15, Jade Gresham with 15 and 2 goals as well. Very busy in the early stages. Finn McGuinness has had it a stack. Bodie Ryan's had lots of work to do in defence for the Hawks as well, with 13 disposals. And it is the Hawks who trail by 25 points at half-time at the Kennedy Community Centre to kick off your Super Saturday on Fox. VFL action. Bombers by 25 points. Let's get some reaction with Lex Pesce.
Hello, Darcy. Thanks for joining us. Your defence is pretty sound. Your midfield's in good health too. Elijah Sardis and Jade Gresham topping the stats sheet. What more can they do?
No, they're going well, the boys. I think it's a collective effort out here today. We're trying to get territory with the conditions. Small forwards going to work and Marbs and Gresham having a good day, but we're getting set up behind the ball as well. We're locking it in for a long time. So
you've opened up a handy lead. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, we've just got to keep going back to the fundamentals, bring it back to the contest and setting up defensively and lock it inside our 450.
Before we let you go, we love a birthday here on Fox Footy. I hear it's your birthday today. Any plans for this afternoon?
We'll watch the boys later on, so hopefully we can celebrate with a win. That'll do my birthday well.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
A win's always better than cake. Darcy Parish hoping to celebrate a couple today. He's been busy at the start of this game. The Bombers by 25 points at half-time. VFL action here on Fox Footy. Plenty to like about the Bombers in that second term. Their pressure was up. They created some chances. And they are approaching this contest with a fierce attitude this morning, trying to take a top 4 scalp and doing a good job of it to half-time. A pair of goals to Liam McMahon in that term and to Jade Gresham. It's a 25-point lead to Essendon at half-time as you get a look inside the rooms at the Kennedy Community Centre. Joel Peterson, Ben Waterworth and 2015 All-Australian Todd Goldstein with you. And Goldie, the Bombers on this good run of form. They were challenged in the opening term, but the second term absolutely belonged to them. And really, it was from the start. They kicked the first 2 goals of the morning, and that's when they really built some momentum into this contest.
Yeah, I think we heard Darcy Parish talk about it at half-time. They really wanted to play that forward half game, take the forward, advance the ball when they could, and really build that pressure on. And that's what they've done so well. They haven't been able to get on top of the clearances just yet, but they're controlling field position, controlling stoppages, and they're just being harder at it.
Yeah, we saw slippery conditions early. Jaden Ewan got the perfect bounce to start us off. Matt Guelphy dislocated his finger after another goal in that opening term as well. And then Ewan being creative at the other end of the ground. Jade Gresham with that fantastic effort to get boot to bowl at the top of the goal square. That was one of his 2 goals for that second term. Then a nice little knock-on by Jared Eckersley set up Liam McMahon, who just rolled in to thump that one through. And that gave them a 26-point lead at that stage, and there was a late chance for Box Hill, and they couldn't take get the most out of that in that term. So no goals in that second quarter for Box Hill. We highlighted Brodie McLaughlin right at the start of the game. He's second in the Frosty, right at the top of the Frosty Miller Medal leaderboard in the top 3 coming into today, Goldie. Deacon Kalpakis has got the job on him, and he's doing very well.
Yeah, it was always going to be a big day for Deacon on Brodie McLaughlin, and I think 4 of the first 5 inside 50s went to his man, but he's dealt with it quite well the whole time, and he's looked very strong back there. He's had the 9 disposals, going 100% efficiency as well, which is a huge result, and he's just looked so solid. The whole Essendon back 6 has looked very solid for the whole game.
He plays with a great deal of composure, good decision maker, and reads the footy beautifully in flight, does Deacon Kalpakis. He's been a great addition to this Essendon team in the second half of the season. They are rolling along the Bombers. They lead by 25 points at halftime, 6-6 to 2-5. Plenty more on the other side of this.
Well, when Jay Gresham is full of confidence, he can produce plays like this. An eye-catching goal from Jay Gresham, who has been in hot VFL form over the past couple of weeks. He has 2 of Essendon's 6 goals so far. The Bombers lead by 25 points here at the Kennedy Community Centre. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Todd Goldstein as we have a look at the Hawks and what they've done so far. There is something about Aiden Schubert, isn't there, Todd Goldstein, as we have a look at some of his highlights so far. You can see why he was so highly rated in the draft last year. Pick 23, 2025, and you sense an AFL debut isn't too far away.
Yeah, even when the conditions weren't ideal for a big key position player, he looked quite clean and really started some of their offensive drive in that first quarter when they started getting on top. So you can see why he was such a top draft pick, but once again, the Hawks have a glutton of tools, and it's hard to break into that side at the moment.
Good thing he's 18 and there's still plenty of room to grow in confidence and size as well. Let's have a look at the games coming up on Super Saturday. It is jam-packed, to say the least, here on Fox Footy. We're heading to Marvel after this for Carlton and Gold Coast. Hawthorn and Essendon live and exclusive on Fox Footy from the MCG, as well as the Sydney Derby going on at the same time. And then we finish with the Bulldogs and Richmond again, live and exclusive on Fox Footy. And your Sunday ticket looks a bit like this. Brisbane and Port Adelaide, followed by North Melbourne and St Kilda, then Bounce and First Crack to cap off your weekend of footy. On the other side of this, though, we're back out on the ground here at Dingley. It is the Bombers leading Box Hill by 25 points. Third quarter coming up in just a few moments.
Second half about to get underway here at the Kennedy Community Centre in Dingley. VFL Footy as part of your Super Saturday live on Fox Footy. It is Essendon by 25 points over Box Hill at halftime. Joel Peterson, Ben Waterworth, Ton Goldstein with you. Gives us a chance to head down to the final member of our team before the second half gets underway. Alexia Pesce.
Yeah, the weather has actually cleared up here at the Kennedy Community Centre. We did think it was going to get a bit more wet, but it hasn't yet. Now, what I did want to discuss going into this second half was Kaushadir. He wasn't able to get on the end of a goal in the first half, but his presence is certainly felt. We saw that mark he took earlier. He's able to hold his own, and ever since he came into this side, he's been able to do that. But the question now is, where can he play his best footy? We know what he can do, but with Jack Gunston signing on for an 18th season, Mitch Lewis signs on for 4 more years, where does Kaushadir fit? Unfortunately, though, it would be sad to see him leave this club. He is out of contract at the end of 2026 with his father, Paul, being such a legend of the Hawks club as well. So, but it's one to watch, I think. It's hard to know where he'll go from here. Now, in the Bombers' rooms at halftime, Matt Guelphy, I went and asked him how his finger was. He dislocated that 3 times last week, and once today he very cheekily said, "I've got to stop fighting people," but he seems okay heading into the second half. And Dean Solomon, the AFL coach, was also in there. He'd be pretty happy with what he's seen here this morning.
Thanks very much, Lexi. Yes, it was good to see that Matt Guelphy can at least laugh about it, as can his teammates as well. Jackson Haitley is not playing today. You'll see him in the background of that shot right there.
Always easier for the teammates to laugh about it.
Having a little bit of a laugh. Now, at the start, at this opening centre ball up here, Goldie, we're going to see Archie Perkins in at this ball up. So a lot of noise around Darcy Parish and Elijah Sardis playing VFL level, but this is just Archie Perkins' 8th VFL game since he was taken a pick 9 back in 2020 as well. It's not like he's been injured, he's sort of been the carryover emergency a couple of times. He just started to get going a little bit in the back end of that second quarter.
Yeah, I think Archie's he's a tough one because he's really struggled to break into the Essendon AFL midfield. So he's been playing a lot of that forward role, which probably when he was drafted, he was more of an inside mid. So a bit of time here just to get him feeling good about himself, I think, and seeing what he can do and how he can help the side out.
He's got the 14 disposals so far, Archie Perkins. Underway here in the third quarter. Conditions have dried up here. It's a 25-point lead for Essendon, but still a bit slippery underfoot. Vigo Visentini couldn't gather. Perkins could, though. Might have been held without it. And it's going to be a free kick coming back here to Hawthorn, though. Butler. Should that be 50 metres? Wasn't quite delivered back to Butler.
I feel like they've loosened up on that interpretation a little bit this year.
So Butler can reset, but Essendon at an advantage here. They've been able to get ample numbers back. McGuinness with strong hands. It'll have to be a slow build here for the Hawks. Gresham on the mark ensures no easy kick for McGuinness. He darts it inside 50, but just the one Duke needed for Vigo Visentini. Showing off his athleticism, the ruck. Strong defensive mark. Only the one right hand needed for Vigo Visentini. Impressive moment from the big man.
That might make his clips during the week, I think, when we sit down.
Well, you'll let them in, or he'll let them in himself?
Well, if I don't, he will. So I probably will just cut the chase.
Get it into the third term. That'll be the first clip during the edit during the week. Here come the Hawks through Putris. 5 goals from turnover for Essendon in the opening half. They've capitalised on some mistakes, and big James Blank just ragdolled Matt Guelphy. Tried to pick him up and throw him back to Clayton. Ryan, Nairn, pokes it inside the 50. Nice gather from Beattie. Back to Nairn. Handball away to Bianco. He tried to step O'Neill, got taken high.
Reckon O'Neill might have insinuated the umpire. He might have ducked into this. Line ball call.
Yep. You can see both sides of the argument there. And Trent Bianco, the former Magpie, state representative a couple of years ago while he was playing for Footscray at VFL level. 25 touches last week, 6 goals, 5 on the season. Hawks haven't kicked one since the opening term. Bianco starts it right, swings it back, and it's missed. It was touched on the way through. So no goal there for Box Hill. Really struggling to capitalise inside the forward 50, but they will lock it in with another stoppage. And Laray's pumped up about his work.
He is. He's getting high tens all the way down. Brodie McLaughlin just outside the goal square put 2 arms up as if they just kicked the match-winning goal. Matt Laray with a big team moment there.
They've brought the pressure to start this quarter. It's 14 disposals to 1 to start in the first 3 minutes.
Boundary throw in here. Ramsden and Visentini to go at it. Bombers by an even 4 goals. Visentini decisively down. Now there was some holding. Hill's going to hold it up. This is going to be a Box Hill free kick. There was some holding in the stoppage. And it's going to be going the way of Cody Anderson. Tough conditions out there, but he is a powerful right foot kick. A noted goal kicker this season. This is his 16th game and he's kicked 16 goals so far. Anderson loads up. It will land just short and go right to the line. Schubitz! What a pair of hands. And again, McLaughlin's arms go up to celebrate. A big moment for his team. We spoke about him at halftime and how you can see the full talent on display and why he was so highly rated in his draft season, taken a pick 23, rated a lot higher according to other clubs. From directly in front, kicks the goal. The Hawks have their first of the second half.
There's a little glimpse into the future, Goldie.
He just read the ball so well. I mean, I think the Essendon players will want their time again with getting no body contact on him, but he just read the ball the best and took it its highest point.
He's an imposing figure up there. He's Aiden Schubert, 194 centimetres, so really, really good size.
I've seen about 3 different listings for Aiden Schubert's size. At one stage last year, I reckon I saw 198 centimetres.
Do you reckon he's bigger than 194?
He has to.
He looks it.
Has to be. He plays certainly taller than 190. Like even for South Australia during the Under-18 Championships last year, he was doing a lot of the ruck work for South Australia. He doesn't have to do that as much for Box Hill today. If he is 195, he certainly plays well above his height.
Yep, the tape measure that's doing the measuring there is getting good value for money.
They don't normally measure unders though. I've interested.
Yes.
They normally try and go a little bit higher.
Always over.
And lower.
So Box Hill, their first goal since quarter time. Byzantini and Parrish are able to scramble it out of the middle of the ground. Putris put a stop to that. And then Laray was over the top of Reece Unwin. Tossed back in. You can see again, the wind just getting a hold of the footy a couple of times here at the Kennedy Community Centre. As Lex told us earlier, AFLW games will be played here by the Hawks throughout the course of the season. AFLW only a couple of weeks away. Of course, Australia versus Ireland, live and exclusive here on Fox Footy. Season proper starts Sunday, August 9. Spuds game, a double-header between St Kilda and Carlton, and Melbourne and Hawthorn to kick the regular season off with the rest of round 1 the following Thursday. All the AFLW action here on Fox Footy throughout the course of the season. Jones with the intercept mark for the Bombers. Kicks it to the edge of the 50, crashing in Guelphy. Ryan clean hands at the back of the pack. Handball over the top looking for McGuinness. Newen kept it alive intelligently, just smashes it back inside the 50. Gresham waits for it out the back of that contest. Guelphy's little tap, trying to find a teammate. Horner's stepped across the boundary line, and it will be tossed back in. The Bombers into attack, yet to score in this third quarter, with the Hawks getting the only goal thus far.
Here's a look at Dowling for the Bombers. Playing a bit more forward of centre today, but can go into the ruck if needed. We'll go up against Ramsden. Dowling decisively down. Ramsden follows up at ground level. Horner put under the pump. Jaden Newen is playing with ample energy, buzzing around every contest at the moment. Infectious for his teammates. Sardis came through the stoppage, as did Gresham. He's hemmed in against the line there by Griff Julian in his first year for the Hawks. Look at the Bombers bench. Xavier O'Neill on the cans there, on the headphones. To Cameron Joyce upstairs, who's got his team 8 and 7 11th on the ladder heading into today, hoping for their 4th consecutive win. Finals, a genuine possibility for the Bombers. Kick out of, there's congestion there, coming from Unwin, off to the right. Didn't even register a score in the end.
Saw Xavier O'Neill on the headset a moment ago, Goldie. He's I was at training on Thursday, and he was there rolling the balls out for the AFL players as well.
Yeah, he's been much more involved this year in the AFL program. Just, I think, getting a bit more experience around him. He wanted to, obviously, he enjoys being involved in the footy program. I think coaching is something he's looking to go down, so a good place to do a bit of development.
West Coast Eagle helping out with the Bombers at both levels this season. Certainly plying his trade effectively at this level. Gresham's handball straight to McGuinness, who was away and trying to gain some territory for the Hawks. Ramsden, neat kick inside the 50, and Schubert lengthens to mark. 40 metres out, squares it up. McGuinness will be directly in front. Finn McGuinness can pull another one back here for the Hawks. Make it a 2-goal ball game. Plenty of the footy so far today. 8 goals, 4 on the season. And he's missed that one. Again, it's another that swung viciously right to left.
Yeah, I think the wind has picked up throughout the day, even though the rain has eased. It's still tricky conditions out there for players from both sides. So
Zach have completely flipped the script so far. 25 disposals to 6, so it's been a really impressive start by them.
Newen bounced off his chest, allows McGuinness at ground level to pick it up. Caught holding the ball though. Leray was trying to push the ball forward. Good defensive effort from the Bombers in the end. It was Jones playing behind the footy today for the Bombers. Kalparkis. Into the middle, risky kick, but it comes off. Great execution from Kalparkis, linking up with Sellers. Not sure which way to go. Has McGuinness closing, has to go inside 50 now with a long kick. Went through the hands of a teammate, Guelphy at the back. Ryan again intercepting, always in the right place at the right time, and was taken high. Bodie Ryan. The play has slowed down, so it won't be a fast break here for the Hawks off half back, but he's a player that is growing in confidence, looks pretty reliable behind the ball. Goldie's one of their top interceptors.
Yeah, I think as we spoke about last year, he likes to colour between the lines, and I think that's what is impressive and what you want about your reliable lockdown defenders.
Sofronides trying to generate some run for the Hawks. Baldwin. The delivery down the line. Schubert presents up again, right on halfway. He's hemmed in somewhat. Nice little touch kick over the top, though. Pulled it intelligently. Butler. The Ballarat product at right half forward. He had Baldwin scooting past. Just fans it wide. And Nan's got the whole 50 in which to operate. There are plenty of red and black jumpers floating back there. He picks one off straight down the middle. Ramsden couldn't hang on to it. The delivery was beautiful, and the big fella's hands just weren't quite sticky enough. Bianco's dragged down. It was about the only vacant territory inside 50. Max Ramsden led into it and just couldn't hang on. Does the ruck work here. Nan can't lock it in. Flashes past again to try and collect for the Hawks. Anderson burrows through the pack. Came out at the last moment. Parrish and Cameron Nan get tangled up. Still no score in this third term for Essendon. And you see the dominance that Box Hill's had in terms of possession. Now Parrish can get it back on the Bombers' terms. Kick through the middle of the ground. He was looking for Jared Eckersley. He was good enough to collect in the end. Binns, low kick, awkward one for Johnson. Scooped it up nicely. He was calm. And now he finds Eckersley at half forward again.
Pretty open forward 50 here for the Bombers. Gresham wants it, doesn't head in that direction. A disappointing outcome for Essendon. They had ample numbers inside 50. Perez able to intercept. Farah averaging the 20 touches per game. He's been one of the more reliable players for the Hawks this season. Blank building confidence after having a luckless run of injury across the past few seasons. An ACL rupture included in that. Kicks to half forward. Where Henry was caught behind. Jones just got a hand pass away. Kalparkis retreats to Sellers. Along the boundary line, and the only player in the vicinity of that footy was Jared Eckersley. Plays on. Handball sets Binns a task, and a disappointing outcome in the end. Binns wanted out of bounds on the full. Lasso probably just a bit disappointed in the end that it hasn't ended in a clean forward 50 entry for Essendon. They still lead by 17 points, but all the scoring so far in this quarter to Box Hill. They've kicked 1 goal, 2. Butler. Now fed out towards Anderson, who stepped into traffic, then fed it out to Leray, who is a smooth mover. Spears it inside 50. Got it to Deere, kept his feet, shrugged off his opponent, tried to shrug off Jones, got boot to ball, kick intercepted. Scott arrives, got the hand pass away. Now Nyko on the trusty left foot, did well to find Gresham.
Bit off a little bit more than he could chew. On that occasion did Kalshadir. Gresham down the line for Binns. 5 inside 50s for the Hawks so far in this third term for 1 goal, 2. So they've been efficient when they've got it in there. Now the Bombers get their chance at the other end. And Visentini floated down there, hit back up at the footy. And he'll have a kick from just inside the 50.
He was given some feedback about his goal kicking during the week as well. So we'll see how he goes. He didn't
by any particular individual?
I actually think quite a few individuals might have been watching the game and giving him a little bit of feedback about it.
So what are you looking for in this set shot from Vigo here?
Well, to improve on last week's one, which didn't score.
Right.
So that would be an improvement. But he's a good user of the footy. So you just want to back himself, go through his routine, and get a good strike on it.
Not setting the bar wildly high. Let's see what the big fella can do here. That looks pretty good. Looks nice in flight. It's just offline.
Did the team thing and set it up.
Yep, he was going for the goal assist there. Maybe the Josh Jenkins accidental assist. Who knows? Steaming through comes Brodie. He's kicked it into the pocket as well. And Henry's dropped another one back there. Sofronides. Steaming out of defence. Kicks an absolute sack down the line. It gets toe poked back in. You wouldn't put this in the kicking textbook, this last 30 seconds of play. That's an inventive one as well out of there for Horner. And it'll bounce out of play, and maybe with a little bit more conviction and quality now, Benny.
Well, we'll try with a slow build. Mackay to Binns. He marks about 60 out. To the pocket. Guelphy had the sit. Couldn't quite take it. Hopefully his fingers are okay.
Every time he turns around, it's nervous.
Well, you do wonder, does it play into confidence in a situation like that? Because he had a great ride and just went straight through. Already got a goal today, Matt Guelphy. McMahon doing the ruck work here. Well outsized against Ua Henry. O'Neill out of nothing. Snaps it and just misses off to the left. That would have been an important goal against the flow of this third quarter, but O'Neill can't connect.
With the wind the way it is, the importance of getting deep entries and having shots close to goal is going to be so important. You can see both sides at either end are struggling once the ball gets sort of outside 30, closer to the 40-metre mark.
Back to an 18-point margin. Schubert again, presenting up the ground. Infield to Farah. Leray, sweeping hand pass to the first gamer in Galstians. Back to Leray, kept the legs moving. Bianco's nice little sell inside, opened up some space. He delivered to McLaughlin, who got crunched by Sellers. And Brodie McLaughlin knows all about just how big and strong Tyler Sellers is after that. Might have just had the wind knocked out of him as he came crashing down to the turf.
As Goldie talked about earlier in the broadcast, Tyler Sellers is not a player that you want to get heavily hit by.
And he's certainly not one player there. Very rarely do you see a player give away a free kick and not look too fussed about it at all. And he seemed to be more than happy that he gave away that free kick because he's happy with his contact, I think.
And so Brodie McLaughlin will have the opportunity. He had to earn it. Looking for his second. And to make it a 12-point ball game. "11 times this season, he's kicked 2 or more. He won't make it with that kick. He was offline all the way through and visibly frustrated with the result.
Look at this free kick just beforehand. Good delivery from Bianco as well, and heavily missed as McLaughlin by Sellers. Play goes on. Tackle applied there. Just with that McLaughlin set shot, he ran out to the right and he just headed that way as well on the set shot.
You can see how viciously it's moved right to left so far. I think that could play in his mind a little bit.
Okay. O'Neill clears it, but Julian had his name written all over that footy. Griff Julian out of the South Belgrave Footy Club. Beautiful part of the world in the Dandenongs. Heads laterally. Ryan. Sofronides. Farah. Perez. Butler. Essendon have done well to man up further afield. Perez gets it back, disposal number 18 for him. Pulls the trigger with a kick into the middle. It was risky. Guelphy up high, did well to disrupt. But in the end, Hawks win out. Julian didn't dispose of it incorrectly, according to the umpire. So Farrad keeps it moving forward. McLaughlin drops it. Horner waiting to pounce. Handball inboard. Farrad brought down. Big moment for Reece Unwood, who wins the free kick for holding the ball, and his pressure has been on song today for the Bombers.
He was awake to the opportunity, Unwin. Nervous kick defensively, though, from the resultant free kick. And it might spill to Hill. Over the top of Kalpakis. Goes back in, Matt Hill. Feel like he's part of the Fox Footy family, Benny. 20 minutes gone here in this third term. Essendon by 17 points, but hemmed inside defensive 50, trying to scramble it out of there. Tackle laid by Farah. There's Connor Nash watching from the sideline. Hopefully back in the next little while from a neck injury that's caused him some concern. Beattie floats that across the face. Out for a boundary throw. And Sam Mitchell said during the week there's been a little bit of progress as far as that neck concern goes for Connor Nash, which is good signs. He spent a little bit of time in New South Wales rehabbing it as well. Nice to see him out here at the Kennedy Community Centre, taking in his side at VFL level. Hawks, of course, in action later today at the G against the Bombers. You'll see that live and exclusive here on Fox Footy as part of your Super Saturday. Sardas' kick. Only as far as Johnson. Jones tries to check side it a mile out of there. Horner stood under it. Coming across Jared Eckersley. Gresham's handball created something for Unwin. He turned it over straight back to Horner. Dragged down by Binns. All in close confines for the Hawks at half forward. Hill trying to create some space. And he spun back toward the boundary line out and over.
Gee, if Matt Hill had grabbed back cleanly, he was off and running with a look inside 50. Still the Bombers holding this 17-point lead. Just the sole goal for Box Hill in this quarter coming through Aidan Schubert. Boundary throwing in the forward half at least here for the Hawks. You were Henry and Dowling. Dowling got rid of the Hawk and grabbed it and thumped it forward. Sofronides, excellent half volley pickup. Couldn't find a teammate though. Coming through Scott. Wrapped up by Horner. What a tackle. Not rewarded. But he's just one of those players, Todd, that you love to play alongside Stu Horner. He's a reliable set of hands back there.
Yeah, he's very good at this level. You know what you're going to get from him.
Gee, Scott might have given away a free kick Oh, no, it's gone the other way. There's a bit of pushing and shoving after the ball up was called. The Bombers can set up here. Perkins, Kalparkis. Johnson set a task, but was taken high by Beattie. Lets him know about it. Now, will that be reversed? That was right in front of the umpire. Gave him one to the midriff there. And Beattie wins it back. Waste no time. Julian brought down by Johnson, who's trying to make amends. Farah, handball's inboard. McGuinness expertly tackled there by Brodie, and he's going to win a free kick for holding the ball. Intensity is lifted. Sardis kicks inside 50, hoping for a lead of Dowling, and he gets the big man with the hands outstretched, and he can get a look at Essendon's first goal of the quarter. Great delivery from Sardis on the charge, inside 50. And the athleticism of Boston Dowling on display there. He's a great size at 207 centimetres. We spoke on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago with Josh Jenkins. He asked, why isn't this guy on an AFL list? He can move. He can't find the goals on this occasion, though. It's Essendon's third behind of the quarter.
Despite a better term, Box Hill just haven't been able to make the required inroads. 1 goal, 3 for them. The Bombers, pair of behinds. Baldwin kicks up the line. He's looking for McLaughlin. Punched away from him by Kalparkis. Spilled to Sardis, to Mackay, and now to O'Neill.
Box Hill pressuring much higher this quarter. Really taking all those short kicks for Essendon in this quarter.
Taking the assertive position of the Hawks. Down the line, that's a really nice set of hands there on display by Griff Julian. Cuts the kick infield. It was an aggressive option and it paid off. Sofronides. Bianco. To the outer side for Nairn. Neat left foot kick. Schubert stretched up, couldn't mark. Bianco there at ground level. And the kick inside forward 50. Julian. There's a free kick in the marking contest. And it is going the way of the Bombers. Now with Nyko at fullback. Off to Binns. Generates so much run, Jackson Binns. He went down after the kick there. That's one we haven't seen paid. Bounce stayed in for Kalshadir, who whacks it back inside to the numbers. Can he get a catch in there? Ramsden, 2 hands to it. Can't mark. Pretty casual from Sellers on the up there to Visentini. Now Binns connects it to the same spot. Does he find a better result? He does. Dowling floated in. He couldn't take it with him. Handball on the up from Jared Eckersley. O'Neill was walked out, then walked back in, then caught holding the ball.
Oh, that was very unlucky there by Jackson O'Neill. O'Neill, he was so close to getting out of bounds, but in the end didn't get there, so holding the ball.
He spear threw it back to James Blank as well. Wasn't too happy there, Xavier O'Neill. Blank laterally to Perez. For all of Box Hill's hard work in this third quarter, they're still only within 3 goals. Towards the flank. Now, has that been touched? Trying to get a hand on there is Baldwin, but it's a lasso. And Essendon will have the footy here. There's Dean Solomon watching on. Big day for him. He'll be leading the Bombers at the MCG in a few hours' time against Hawthorn. Handball from Kalparkis. Little lazy. McLaughlin has kept it in. Big opportunity here for Brodie McLaughlin. Gets some support from Anderson. Kalparkis. Ball spills free. Nyko arrives across the goal face. Larray gets a hand to the footy. Binns is there for Essendon. Goes back. Another free kick post-disposal has been paid. And this time Binns can relieve. Can't remember a game quite like it where we've seen so many free kicks paid after the ball has either been kicked or hand-passed.
Borderline epidemic proportions the way it's going. 44 free kicks in the game. Julian intercepts for the Hawks. Bianco drives a low kick into the arc. It's over the head there of a few, including Salas. Spills down to Nam. Left foot snap around the body. McLaughlin, oh, how has he done that? Didn't take the mark, hacked it out of the air and kicked his seconds. That is forward craft at its finest.
Such an important goal for Box Hill as well, just to get that reward for the dominance they've had of this quarter. 3 goals was seeming like it was going to be a big lead going into three-quarter time, so to cut back one into that is a big difference maker.
Something about that goal square,
Yes.
Jade Gresham and now Brodie McLaughlin.
That was just as impressive as well. You mentioned it there, Joel. Pure forward craft as well. Right place, right time. Just a goal kicker, a pure goal kicker. Brodie McLaughlin. It's been a great battle today with Deacon Kalparkis. Those two have been on each other since minute 1. And importantly, it's got the Hawks within a couple of kicks just before three-quarter time. Essendon yet to kick a goal in this third term. And the timing of McLaughlin's kick couldn't have been much better. A buzzer beater almost. 44-32 in favour of the Bombers. Fourth quarter coming up on the other side of this.
An intriguing clash between two VFL finals aspirants in Box Hill and Essendon, and it was Jaden Ewan and his miracle bounce that started it all off. The first 2 goals of the game to the Bombers, and they kicked the only goals in the second quarter, including this to Jade Gresham. Inventiveness, craft, he got a boot to it, and they had a decisive lead in that second quarter, Essendon.
Tough conditions early. The sun came out, still a bit slippery underfoot. The pressure has been immense from both teams. Reece Unwin making a statement early in front of the AFL coach. But Box Hill kicked the only 2 goals of the third quarter, including this beauty to Brodie McLaughlin out of midair. And it means as we turn for home here at the Kernanee Community Centre, it's Essendon leading by 12 points. The Bombers 6-8-44, Box Hill 4-8-32. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Joel Peterson and the All-Australian and Best and Fairest winner, Todd Goldstein. We'll hear from Alexia Pesce soon as well. But Todd, hasn't it been a hot contested game of footy? The conditions have certainly helped that, but the pressure from both teams has been elite.
Yeah, particularly in that third quarter, you could see Box Hill really ramped up their pressure and ramped up their ability to just cut out all the shorts and cut out a lot of those uncontested marks that Essendon had in the second quarter. So it was a huge difference. As you said, the conditions didn't help with the slick ball movement, but I think it was the ability to number off and make a one-on-one contest.
The Essendon VFL coach, Cam Joyce, is downstairs with Alexia Pesce.
He certainly is. Plenty of pressure out there. Not so much on the scoreboard for you guys. You still hold a handy lead, but they did win the quarter. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, like I think, you know, we probably invited a fair bit of pressure with the way that we probably overused the ball at times. You know, they're 29 uncontested marks for them. They changed their game style a fraction in terms of wanting to possess the ball and use the corridor a bit more. So we've got to make sure we squeeze up on that, try and take that away, and that should give us some good opportunities to go forward and score if we're good enough to defend that.
I checked the live ladder before. You currently move into 7th. This team is in a very handy spot to make finals now. But we saw in the box before the senior coach, Dean Solomon, alongside you. Just want to ask, what's it like working with him?
Oh, no, he's fantastic. Like, I've had a fair bit to do with him this year, you know, working with the defenders with him when he was in that role. And, yeah, he's been super supportive and, you know, he's always there in the box with us and, you know, providing some really good guidance. And, you know, we work really closely together on the game style and where we want the guys to play. So, no, it's been terrific.
Well, there you go. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks to Cam, thanks to Lex. Dean Solomon getting a selfie with a young Essendon fan on his way off at three-quarter time as well. He's hoping to lead them to back-to-back victories a little bit later on this afternoon. But for now, the Bombers are trying to make some real inroads into their wild card chase. A 4th straight win in the offing. The Hawks trying to cement their position among the top 4. Nyko, right to the edge of the arc. It bounces around. And it's not going to come out of the clutches of Newen and Julian. It'll be tossed up. Ramsden and Visentini. Visentini the better of the tap. Kick to the pocket. Always in the right spot there was Will Putris. In defence, or kick slides off the side of the boot. Putris couldn't hit the target. Nyko allowed in again. Kicks deep, Guelphy hangs on to that one. And a very gentle high five from Archie Perkins.
Used his chest rather than the full Dukes on display there, Joel.
Let's see if he kicks the goal, whether he goes and pushes someone or he just stays well away from anyone.
Well, it's a big kick. They didn't kick one in that third term, Essendon, after they kicked 4 in the second quarter. Matt Guelphy. Quiet in terms of disposals, and he started that one a long way right and missed it a long way right. That was the old allow for the slice, Goldie, and then you just slice it right anyway.
I think given the conditions and the position, I thought he might have actually gone with the snap. Might have been a safer option from that spot.
So Brodie McLaughlin missed from a similar position in the third quarter as well. Big fly there from Sellers, brings the ball to ground. Ramsden thumps it forward, hoping for someone to run onto it. Bombers thump it back, but numbers here with the Hawks. Beattie just hangs onto it, then stripped by Sellers, gone. And Essendon pounce. Newen has a runner over the top, and it's a good one in Gresham. He does the team thing and chips it over the top. Another downfield free kick. Guelphy takes the advantage. Handballs to Jared Eckersley. And finally, Essendon get that second half goal they've been searching for. Wasn't pretty, Todd, but it ultimately doesn't matter in a situation like that. Jared Eckersley hits the scoreboard for the first time today.
It was just smart play by Essendon. They were just using the free numbers, making the Box Hill defenders make a decision and press up, and that's how Jared Eckersley got out the back. I feel like Welfie didn't want to kick a goal because he hasn't got to cut his finger again. Maybe that's the play he's going for.
Jared Eckersley just rolling in, one of the inclusions this week. 18 goals on the season, so when he's been in the team, he's been very efficient up front. Knocks another one through there, and he took the wind out of play, unlike what Matt Guelphy did a little bit earlier. Alexia Pesce, what's the wind doing down there at ground level?
It's picked up ever so slightly. It's not favouring either side at this point, though. It's coming more across the face.
Both teams allowing for it. We can see a little bit of movement in the trees as well. It is a...
it's exposed,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's a generous way of putting it, Benny. That's very diplomatic from you. Notoriously windy place. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays throughout the AFLW season as well. Kick up toward half forward for the Hawks. Solly Mackay working in tandem with Jones. Neat delivery off half back to Perkins. Gets the instep, turned it over. Horrible kick. Ramsden. He now chips it short to McGuinness. Can Finn McGuinness find a marking target? Kicks to the pocket, has a couple to pick from, almost dragged in at full forward, and had the hands to it, couldn't complete the deal. And then Jones has kicked it straight back to Big Max Ramsden. And Ramsden's got it. Well, he'd have to kick it from just outside the 50. Can he put the long levers to good use? Maybe a little bit of wind assistance here. 7 goals, 11 on the season. Left foot strike. Looks pretty good. It's just thumped into the inside of the post. You could hear that from here as Max Ramsden hit the post flush.
Gee, it came back late as well.
That Duke looks a little bit happier than the one on the other side of the ground, I reckon, Ben.
Just in the background of your shot there, which barely moved all day today.
He's getting a little bit more attention.
I imagine the grandstand's a bit more comfortable to sit as well than out in the open.
Ball will be tossed back in on that outer side. Essendon holding this 3-goal lead. Here's the pooch. Chilly work there on that outer side. I think I'd rather be there.
Yep.
Visentini and Ramsden. Visentini cleanly out of the ruck. Bombers ruck coach will like that. The Sardis accelerates away and then spears it up towards half forward. Asked a lot of dowling below his knees. Farrah tried to hand pass it towards a teammate, but no one was there. Goes again. Beattie comes through, couldn't gather cleanly. Parrish in there at ground level, clean from him. Now to Binns, inside 50, that was better. And again, it's Jared Eckersley. He just has this knack of bobbing up in the right place at the right time. This, a much more difficult shot than his previous attempt from point-blank range.
The wind may affect this one more than the last one.
But he's a goal kicker. Kicked over 50 goals since 2024. He's been an integral member of this Essendon VFL squad. Strikes it. It's high. It's going to fall well short. Big fly from behind from Scott. Thumped away from him, over the line and out of bounds. But the Hawks tucked up in their back pocket here.
It wasn't quite Point Jellybrand Oval, but it wasn't. It was shades of. It didn't come back through the goals backward, but it certainly didn't have any forward momentum. Bombers have got some of that at the moment. Early goal in this final term. 3-goal advantage. It's a long road back for Box Hill, considering the way the scoreboard sits at the moment. Next goal could be very important if Essendon can jag it. If the Hawks can go up the other end, we have very much got a live contest.
Gresham's starting to get very active around these forward stoppages.
20 touches for Jade Gresham. 5 tackles, 4 inside 50s, and a couple of goals for his morning and now afternoon's work. As you see on your screen, Elisha Sardis leads all on the ground with 26. Free kick in the ruck contest again, going to Essendon. And Boston Dowling the beneficiary this time.
That must be 9 or 10 ruck free kicks today.
I don't know about you, but I've not been able to get a grasp on any of them. That one was pretty clear-cut, Ramsden, with the arm around the shoulder.
I think they've all been, a lot of them have been there. It's just, you've got to be a little bit careful. Once they pin 1 or 2 on you, you've probably got to really pull back pushing that line.
So Boston Dowling kicked one last week. He was the late inclusion last week. He lines up here and sends it through. It puts Essendon 24 points to the good. And Boston Dowling could be sending them closer to a wildcard berth.
He's an imposing player, isn't he, Goldie? I remember when we did the Brisbane game a couple of weeks ago and Josh Jenkins was with Joel and I, and Josh asked, why isn't he on an AFL list? And we both were sort of asking recruiters live as the play was going on, and one recruiter got back to me and said he previously wasn't competitive enough, but physically he's really starting to improve, and he's actually getting to the point of possibility now. But the thing is with clubs, the AFL clubs, is they want tools closer to the finish line in terms of physical performance. But Dowling is slowly getting there.
Yeah, and you could see Richmond had a really good look at him in the pre-season after their first practice match. And I think it's just that ability to put size on, and I think the recruiter summed up pretty well. It's his ability to make a contest and be competitive has been a huge jump this year.
Parrish feeds it out to Jones, who was streaming off the half-back line. Bounce eludes Baldwin. And an interesting kick off the ground by Blank. What in there by Unwin just to keep it in the forward half here for Essendon, although Butler emerges from congestion, takes on Parrish, runs his full measure, feeds Nan. Lots of red and black, big fly over the top from Hill, but totally misjudged the jump. And an easy intercept mark in the end for Ryan Brodie, in his 6th game of the year. Kalparkis and Brodie just add to each other's respective stats columns, and goes up towards half forward. Newen, great gather, and then the hand pass was slick outside. Kick from Scott, not sure if Guelphy was his intended target, but he's taken the mark. Now that's interesting. Scott and Ryan was trying to follow Scott through the mark, or around the mark. Kick smothered there by Butler. And now Nan and Ryan link up. Ryan goes on his left boot, kicks over the head of Deer and creates a foot race. Ball set up beautifully for Deer. Handball's in poured. Must kick goal. Finn McGuinness, with all his experience, needs to deliver and doesn't. Misses everything.
That's a big, big miss from Finn McGuinness.
It's probably been the one knock on his on him in his AFL games, is his ability to actually finish those opportunities he creates.
That was a gilt-edged chance that he should have made better of. Would have brought it back to a 3-kick game with plenty of time remaining. Now the Bombers can control things once more. Vigo Vicentini steps around Henry on the mark and just got out of his grasp as he got the kick away up the line, turned it over. Sofronidis, Putris. Nyko takes possession. Parrish loops his handball out wide. Gresham takes the game forward for the Bombers. Scott involved in the tangle in this part of the ground earlier on. Jared Eckersley now to O'Neill, the stand-in skipper. Again, he tried to do the team thing. He could have been more selfish. Offloaded to Guelphy. Guelphy finds Unwin. Just needed it to curl into his chest, and it did on the breeze. And Reece Unwin can just about put this one beyond doubt.
Lexi told us beforehand that the breeze was really going across the ground, and that pass from Guelphy epitomised the strength of that breeze.
Reece Unwin judged it nicely. Just had to sit there and wait for it.
It's a horrible feeling sitting there waiting that long for it.
Especially when you're built like Reece Unwin. You never know what's coming. Unwin trots in and slides that one through. 5-goal advantage to Essendon, and it is going to be mighty hard to overturn. Their 3rd goal of the quarter. So again, to this end, Goldie, they have bounced out and made it count on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's been an impressive start to this last quarter by Essendon. They really have taken the sting out of the game. You can see Box Hill really lift their effort and their intent in that third quarter, get it back to the 2-goal game, but they've just completely taken Box Hill out of this quarter, and they've been able to control the quarter for the first 12 minutes completely.
He's only had the 8 touches, Reece Unwin. Sardell Hooley looks on from the grandstand. He's only had the 8 touches. It feels like he's had more impact on the game, though.
Yeah, he does, and he's that type of player. He's just so explosive, so fast, attacks the contest so hard that even if he's not getting touches, he's creating havoc and creating a contest. So he's a really exciting prospect for Essendon.
Good match up there on the wing between him and Matt Leray, who's one of the more highly rated wingers of last year's draft class. Sardis, disposal number 28 for him, fed it back. The Bombers go high towards the edge of the centre square. O'Neill got a very kind bounce. Fed it back to Jones. Binns. Sweeps it to Parrish. Took on the tackler. Wonderful tackle there from Bianco. Pinned the arm there of Parrish. Forced the turnover. Butler again goes for a trot. Inside 50. Well judged by McLaughlin. Dropped it, but it falls over the top here to Galstians. And a nice moment there from the debutant. Had Ramsden running forward, and Ramsden this time is a really good look from almost directly in front. Here is Josh Galstons, came through the Eastern Rangers program, Park Orchards Footy Club. They're mightily proud of his debut this week. It was a nice moment for him, still just 20 years of age. Must-kick goal for Max Ramsden. Had an opportunity early in this quarter that he missed. And he keeps it low and he misses. 4 goals, 10 for the Bombers today. Lots of opportunities have gone begging.
2 in this term. For Ramsden now as your reference, Ben. Here's Harry Jones, who's looked good down back today. Had enough of the footy. 12th disposal. Kicks up the line. It's slapped out of play. A mess of red and black jumpers converged on the footy. Deacon Kalparkis, we highlighted at half-time, has been excellent again in defence. 3 intercept marks among his 15 disposals. He's had the job on McLaughlin, and he has made everything difficult for Brodie McLaughlin. Dowling smashes it up the line out of the ruck. Good tackle from McMahon. Grabbed Blank, got him cold. Tried to take it on there, James Blank. He's had a really rough run of injury over the last little while. The ACL a couple of years ago. Back and hamstring injuries have curtailed much of his campaign this year. McMahon sets it up to full forward. Jared Eckersley there. Guelphy off hands. Got the kick away. Eckersley goes back with the flight and pulls it in. He just charged at that footy, and it was only ever going to be his. One already in the term for the Queenslander. Looking to really drive home this advantage. Take it out to 35 points. It's an impressive mark going back with the flight.
He just wanted it more than everyone else in that instance, and that's usually the one that wins the ball.
See how he handles the wind here from a spot that others haven't been able to. He's put it behind the post, so he's done the exact same thing, albeit a little bit closer.
It was definitely closer.
Than
so he has learned
and McLaughlin before him.
He has learned a little bit from the first 2.
Just not enough.
We're not playing closest to the pin.
And a big final quarter, though. Jared Eckersley is lifted when his team has needed him. Up went Ramsden. Come through was Perkins. Ramsden got it again. Anderson. Interesting hand pass away, but it will come off. Leray checked the kick, didn't have enough juice on the left there. Sellers waiting for it. Has support on the outside. O'Neill retreats back. Brodie kicks it high. Was that touched off the boot? It was. So it'll be tossed back in, true centre wing here. In the shadows of the Kennedy Community Centre, venue that'll host Hawthorn's AFLW games this season. Hawks thrilled at be having a genuine home ground advantage in the 2026 dub campaign. Dowling was held by Schubert there. And we'll get the free kick. And a little bit more ruck work in this fourth term. Boston Dowling. First season with Essendon's VFL setup. Zach Eckersley. And number 4 for him. Be thrilled to be out there alongside brother Jared. The ball really held up in the breeze there. And the only player that sort of went up for it in the end was Julian. And he swings it wide. Ramsden getting busy in this fourth quarter. Some hard running from McLaughlin. All the way up almost to the wing here. Who's forward for him? Kicks inside 50. Big fly from behind from Deer. Got hands to the ball, then crumbed it and snapped it and goaled it! Kalsha Deer. Awesome finish from a tight angle.
I'd say a seriously impressive finish from a big fella, Goldie.
Absolutely, and he's getting the reward now for Ramsden playing up a bit high up the ground, Schubert in the ruck. So he's getting the 50 all to himself, and it's not a bad result there. Very impressive goal.
Breeze to contend with, running out of play into the right forward pocket.
Lexi mentioned Kalsha at half-time because there's Jack Gunston. We've just got Mitch Lewis signing on. And then they've got the possibility that Ben King also might be coming to the Hawks as well, which has naturally led to the question is what does that mean for the uncontracted Kalsha Deer, who's been so fiercely loyal to Hawthorn, who've been so good to him for so long. But he has been struggling to break into that AFL team, and we're getting closer towards the end of the season, Joel. It's going to be a fascinating story over the next couple of weeks.
Yep. Sam Mitchell said he wasn't aware of the speculation about Ben King the other day.
Right, okay.
Yep. Just
right.
playing the game beautifully there, the Hawks coach. Damien Hardwick at the same time said it wouldn't be the end of the world if they lost him because they've got fingers in other pies as well. So there's going to be some big decisions to be made, some dominoes to fall here at the Kennedy Community Centre over the next little while. Brian got caught with it by Newen. Newen's going to kick to the pocket. A couple of marking targets there. Jared Eckersley among them. And Horner's pulled it in. The Box Hill captain, longest-serving member of the Hawks program. He was playing when they were still the Mustangs.
Yes.
One of the great team monikers, the Mustangs. I don't know that I've ever heard another club called the Mustangs.
Now the Mooroolbark Mustangs out in the Eastern Footy League.
That's outstanding from you. I was going to say, I can't think of one in country footy, but I knew you might have the more metropolitan area covered.
Up the green.
Anderson out wide. Solly Mackay sprawls for it with Max Beattie, and it'll be tossed back in underneath the grandstand. Essendon have owned this final term, 3-1. 24 points is their advantage. Their next 2 after this against Collingwood and Sydney. Box Hill with North Melbourne and Casey to complete their season.
Hand pass came back to Jones, who kicked it forward, but that's intercept mark number 5 for Stu Horner. Unfortunately, his teammate just slipped at the wrong time. Might not matter too much because Sofronides is streaming through the middle and torping it forward. Good luck marking that. Deer had a crack, as did Jones, who brings it to ground level. Deer follows up again, brought down by Jones, and he's going to be rewarded. Great tackle from Harry Jones. How have you seen his game playing as a defender, which is a role he's been growing into the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think he's been really solid again. I think, he hasn't been beaten too many times in one-on-ones. He's used the ball pretty well back there. So, I think Harry's really reveling in this opportunity to play back, and he's putting his name in the frame, that's for sure, for selection.
Guelphy had a bit of the ball there, didn't quite come off. Perkins just waited that extra second for someone to arrive. Feeds Dowling. He kicks towards the arc. Sitting under it there is Jared Eckersley. Continues this impactful fourth quarter. There's a look inside forward 50. And then he sees a player just short. And the ball in the hands of the late inclusion today, Noah Scott. Eckersley's had the 5 disposals so far this quarter, and if this ends up in a Bombers score, would be his 4th score involvement. In the meantime, all eyes on Noah Scott, his 2nd season with Essendon's VFL side. Only kicked the 1 goal in 2026. This to cap off a fine afternoon. Runs around on the arc, kicks it high. It'll land short. McMahon was on the last line. Ewan waiting to pounce again. Rush behind. And it's now a 25-point lead.
Is that an important point?
Sure.
Makes it a 5-score game, of course. Might be out of the required threshold for the important point. I reckon you need to be within 2 goals, maybe, to roll that one out. Flynn Perez trots in, kicks it a mile. The one around the corner from Sellers. Hill caught by Jones, and a ball up. Another year to run on the contract of Harry Jones, and he's played all his junior footy as a forward for Calder and for Gisborne before getting drafted to Essendon. So a work in progress down back, but looks like there's something to persist with there. He's always had beautiful hands and read the game well. That one was touched by Gresham on the way out, so it shouldn't be a lasso free kick, but it will be. Jade Gresham absolutely got a hand on that. Bodie Ryan, aggressive kick through the middle. It's chips in time now for the Hawks. And Ryan was the exemplar of that. But the Bombers take it back. Parrish out wide. Mark held on to by Scott. He's going to just knock it backwards and do some of the finest stat padding you'll ever see. That is egregious from Noah Scott and from Zach Johnson. And turned it over. So maybe the footy gods having one there for Noah Scott. Turned it straight over to Schubert. Now to McGuinness, to Leray, whose bounce went awry. So did his paddle onto Bianco. He got taken high in the process, though. He'll take it from smack bang in the middle of Kennedy Community Centre.
He'll go towards the flank where he's got numbers as well. Nan, Chips, Butler takes the mark. And then full Jones. Kept on going from the tight angle, drills it. Bit of shrewd play late there from Sam Butler. And that's a couple of goals in a row for Box Hill.
And when they didn't look like they could kick one, Goldie, a couple from tight in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, it was smart by Butler there, just to make it a little bit easier, get a bit closer. Obviously, all the kicks from distance have been a bit tough to make in this second half, especially.
Back to the 19 points. Seen him a little bit at AFL level throughout the course of the season. Sam Butler, 28 disposals, 11 marks last week. Important release player as well.
He's perennially on the cusp of Hawthorn's best 23. When he comes back to VFL level, he always has an impact.
Yep, he's clearly someone that they like. Of course, brother Dan at St Kilda. Family coming out of the Lake Wendouree Footy Club in Ballarat. Both made of tough stuff, and plenty of pressure that they bring to the contest. Sardis and Perkins combine out of the middle. Hoist it into the air, and Guelphy will pull it down.
Just lovely clearance work there by the Bombers. Just very crisp, taking advantage of Schubert, who's not a natural ruckman. Taking advantage of him being in the ruck for Box Hill.
And Matt Guelphy getting a little bit of advice from some younger supporters here at the Kennedy Community Centre. 1 goal, 1 so far. Well, he got told by that young kid that he couldn't kick straight. He's going to turn around to the crowd and say, I'm pretty sure I can. Guelphy's got 2. And the Bombers are going to win a 4th straight and really make a charge at a wildcard spot. Here's that clearance work, Goldie. That is very, very clean indeed.
Oh, it's almost a perfect centre bounce play, the way they drew that up. Just lovely hit tap down to Darcy Parish on the wrap, and Elijah Sardis reading the cues and being able to get the ball going forward for them.
He's had the 9 disposals today, Matt Guelphy. 7 of them have led to Essendon scores. Been an effective performance from the veteran player. Picked 76 all the way back in 2017. He remains an integral member of this Essendon list. And he now has 11 goals in this VFL season, and his last 5 games, including today, he's gone 2-2, 1-2-2 for his goal hauls. Free kick here to the Bombers for Parrish. Disposal number 18 for Darcy Parrish today. Trying to fight his way back in to the senior Bombers lineup. Perkins has had 24. Now Binns, and again, just adding a few kicks and handballs and marks to the stat sheet at the end of the day. The Bombers, Perkins now up to 26. Goes back to Johnson, who seems to be growing. Zach Johnson playing that defensive role with every game he plays, Goldie.
Yeah, he's such a good ball user. And he's this type of player that you really want the ball in his hand, and he usually makes some pretty good decisions and can bite off more than he can chew at times, but he uses it pretty well.
Just like that kick there from Perkins. He was going for Sellers, but only found Hill. But Hill's hand pass chopped off by Binns. Now they can work it out here across half back. Sardis, another 30-plus disposal game for him. Johnson, Binns, all in close confines there. Dowling juggles it far too big and strong there for Beattie. He marks 28.5 gone. And there's the siren. As if on cue. 4 wins on the trot for Essendon's VFL side, and they are right in the wild card hunt for 2026. 10-11-71 the Bombers defeat Box Hill 6-10-46. They led at every stage of the game today. They led at every change. And despite a big challenge from Box Hill in the third quarter in particular, they got within a couple of goals, the Hawks. But it was the Bombers, Goldie, that stood strong. Were too strong in the contest, certainly early in that fourth quarter, and were able to get scoreboard reward for effort. And Cameron Joyce has this team playing an excellent brand of footy at the moment.
Yeah, it's a really professional performance by them. They played the conditions really well early in the game, and then late when the game was in the balance, they just went back to their bread and butter stuff, which is their clearance work, and I think they won the clearances 12-3 in that last quarter, so it was a really professional performance.
As Alexia told us, up to 7th on the table now as well, so ahead of Port Melbourne on percentage. Tassie and Williamstown have both had draws, a half game back. They go equal with Frankston and the Giants, who are 5th and 6th. And Box Hill, that top 4 spot, maybe even looking a little bit tenuous. They should be in it at the end. Frankston in action now, but depending on the way the Sydney Derby rolls out, and of course Frankston still to play this afternoon, their top 4 spot is maybe under threat. Essendon, 25-point winners, 4 wins in a row. Let's get some reaction from the Bombers. Lex is with Jade Gresham.
A nice win, a handy win against someone above you on the ladder. How does that feel?
Yeah, we really set ourselves this week. Obviously, Box Hill's a quality opposition. They had been for years. So, yeah, we really needed this one, and thought the boys played really good for 4 quarters today. And, yeah, hopefully we can continue that in the last couple of games of the year. And, I'm really stoked with the win.
I'm going to mention it because it feels like I'm about to get blown away. But the conditions out here, how'd they feel for the rest of the whole game?
Yeah, the wind was all right in the first half. And then, yeah, the second half it picked up quite a fair bit out here. So, it was pretty tricky. But, yeah, it's a nice deck out here. Got amazing facility.
The live ladder has you guys currently in 7th. There are a few games to play out today, but that means finals are a real possibility. What does this side need to work on now? Yeah,
I think our last 3 or 4 weeks has been awesome. Yeah, we've really improved, I think. And yeah, like I said, we just need to continue this and not get too ahead of ourselves, and yeah, hopefully keep playing this way. It'd be nice.
21-2, including a pretty handy goal that came from nowhere. What was going through your mind at that point?
Been watching a bit of the soccer, so that, yeah, a bit of that.
And just so playing alongside Elijah Sardis and Darcy Parrish at the moment, I mean, it's a pretty handy midfield to have. But someone like Elijah Sardis trying to push into that senior side, as a senior player yourself, do you have any advice for him?
Just keep going. Like, he's been awesome. He's handled himself really well this year. He's come back and dominated every game. So he's got to keep working. It'll come. He's got to stay positive. And yeah, he's playing awesome. He's a great kid, and he's had a great attitude all year. So I think he's got a bright future.
And just lastly on yourself, you're playing some pretty good footy at the moment, but there's no certainty for next year. How do you feel?
Yeah, I just take it 1 week at a time and enjoy my footy. Just that's the main thing, I think, with everyone. Just enjoy it. No matter where you play, I think you've got to enjoy your footy. So that's it.
Keep enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's playing good footy, Todd. So he's now played 7 VFL games and he's kicked at least 1 goal in every game. He's constantly getting 1 or 2 goals a game, around about averaging 17 disposals as well. And he's just playing with great enjoyment, it looks like, at VFL level, despite the uncertainty of next year and not playing consistent AFL footy. He looks like a really important member of Cameron Joyce's side at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a really tough situation when you're not getting into the seniors where you want to be, to have the right attitude. And Jade is going back and he's going right with the right attitude. You have to have fun. You've got to enjoy footy, because that's, in the end, that's what allows us to play our best brand. And I think he's such an important tool for these young kids to have in this VFL side, to learn from him, to see how he approaches it, see how he carries himself at this level, because it is very easy for some senior players to crack it a little bit and not bring their best selves to it. But by all reports and by the way it looks, Jade's handling himself really well.
Another senior player who's doing really good things for his Essendon team is Xavier O'Neill. He's with Lex.
Hang on. And this was a really good win, wasn't it, X? To get the wood over this side, who's, I think, beaten you the last 5 occasions, this one feels extra special?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, still in the hunt for finals, so came in with a plan today, and obviously a bit of an old rival too. So, yeah, good to they've had the chockies over us lately, so, yeah, good to get one back on them.
What was the message at half-time? It's a simple question, but they did sort of bring the pressure and you were able to withstand it, but they did win in that 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I think we went away a little bit ourselves, just from our role and sort of being a good teammate and the predictable stuff. So the message at half-time was just nothing changes. The good footy we played in the first half was that stuff, and when we went away from it, they sort of got a run on, and they're a good outfit too, so they were always going to throw a few punches. So, yeah, proud of the boys in the end. We managed to get back. Yeah.
Admittedly, I heard you last week tell the side just to keep things simple when you're trying to get the ball into forward 50. Is that kind of the message that's been this week, heading into now finals?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, simple footy's better footy, in my opinion. So as long as we can get the ball in there, we've got some great dangerous forwards, both tall and small. So, yeah, just get in there, give them a chance and defend behind it.
Now, I heard this week that you spent some time with the AFL side. Is coaching something that's on the radar for you?
It is, yeah, really loving it. So, yeah, Footy Club's been giving me a good opportunity to do a bit of coaching there and explore that. So, obviously helps playing with a lot of the younger guys too and helping them with their development. So, yeah, loving it.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff there to hear from Xavier O'Neill, who's leading this team with aplomb. So Joel gave us a bit of a glimpse of the ladder just beforehand and what this win means in particular for Essendon, because there is a mighty logjam there between 10th and 5th, really. Like, even Essendon is now just half a game outside the top 4. Sydney obviously still to play. But they're right in at the Bombers.
And a lot of those teams in action today as well. So many games still to come across the course of this weekend as well. So Sydney and GWS play today, 4th and 5th. Yep. That's going to be a really critical matchup in the run home to finals. And we mentioned it right off the top that Essendon will shape how that final, that top 4 looks as well. They've got Collingwood and Sydney still to come. So that's theirs after the bye. And then Box Hill with North Melbourne and Casey as well, with a bye sprinkled in there. So it's going to be an intriguing run home into this VFL final series, Benny. And it's, as Xavier mentioned, it breaks a run of 5 consecutive Box Hill wins. The Essendon win today. So that's a big performance from the Bombers.
They are 25-point winners over Box Hill here at the Kennedy Community Centre. On behalf of Joel Peterson, Todd Goldstein, Alexia Pesce, and our entire hard-working team behind the scenes, this is Ben Waterworth signing off and throwing it over to Marvel Stadium. It's Carlton and Gold Coast. Hello, Sarah Jones.
Hello, a huge Super Saturday live here on Fox Footy, brought to you by the all-new Toyota BZ4 X Touring. It is a huge September shaper. Carlton hosting the Gold Coast Suns under the roof here at Marvel. The Blues have lost their last 2 after an epic run under interim coach Josh Fraser, and the Gold Coast slide down the ladder has been quite catastrophic, from premiership favourites to losing 8 in a row today. A massive chance to look at that wild card spot. In fact, there are huge ramifications right across Super Saturday on Fox for all the teams looking to secure a spot in September.
5 rounds to go until the month that matters most. So who's the 2026 Premier? Hiding in plain sight. The easy answer, the runaway ladder leaders from the West.
And the Docker juggernaut rolls on.
Fremantle, brutal and brilliant by equal measure.
It's become men versus boys.
Justin Longmuir's Dockers out to punctuate their meteoric rise with the club's first ever flag.
Still warming up. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But it's the Lions who still hold the crown. 6 straight wins for the back-to-back champs. You want the premiership? You got to go through them. The Swans have the firepower. Can they harness it against the very best?
We've got work to do, and we need to do it pretty quickly.
Driving the hopes of the Hawks and the Crows are these magic makers. The Wizard.
With a piece of